Alright, my stream connection is not gonna be that great. It's raining and the streets are flooded as fuck outside, but yeah. I've been watching this video for 24 minutes now, and I'm gonna keep watching it because I think it's interesting and I like Cr1TiKaL. His videos are funny. Alright, I'm gonna keep playing Elden Ring, fuck it, and watching this video.
Decisions where they have to play for one
rarely
team or the other for their whole fucking life, and then regardless of which side you choose to go to, you still get eaten alive by members of the same community if you're somewhat out of line or thinking too hard for yourself. That's what I think the biggest problem is with growing up with social media and Twitter constantly plaguing people's minds, which in turn leads to everyone being miserable and mad at everything and everyone. And I also think it lends itself to making everyone more isolated and lonely, because then they lock themselves online, constantly fighting battles for their ideology on Twitter with fucking random bot accounts and actual nonsense every hour of every day. So that would be my answer to what is actually plaguing the youth.
Similar. Overall, and you can see it with the Fresh and Fit video that you still haven't corrected, where you called Fresh a virgin. A lot of it, and you see people that hate me, they're like, oh, this alpha male, this alpha male, this alpha male Sneeko, and I've never once called myself that. I don't think I'm an alpha male. I advocate towards things that are conservative. I advocate towards Islamic values. That doesn't mean that I think I am an alpha male.
I've never called you an alpha male. You're talking to someone.
You've called my friends that. You've called Fresh and Fit that, and you haven't.
They call them. You are really hung up on fighting for the honor of Fresh and Fit. What I did was exactly what you preach. I made fun of him. Calling him a virgin is a joke. Do I think he's actually a virgin? Probably not. And it's not even a good joke. Like, that's the laziest joke of all time. Which is why it wasn't like the crux of it. I just made it as a throwaway statement in the middle of a rant about his ridiculous story. This is something that clearly weighs heavy on the mind of Sneeko, where I insulted his friend, and my god, he has not let that go. This has become like his Vietnam, because it really seems to have taken a big toll on his psyche. He believes I owe a retraction and apology for making fun of him and calling out his story. And he says that I was wrong about all of it, even though, I'll play you the clip in a moment, further into our conversation, he also admits he doesn't know if he actually fucked the 3 women that he claimed he did. Nobody knows. The story itself is outrageous. What they proved is he had DMs, like a conversation with the NBA player. But that doesn't corroborate the whole story. There is no apology or retraction necessary. It is still such a fucking crazy story he told that probably wouldn't even happen in the most obscure Brazzers porno ever.
Because you don't correct your mistakes. You were wrong about Fresh and Fit. You were wrong about Andrew Tate, and you were wrong about the movie Cutie.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you tied it back to Cuties, but before we get back to that, how am I feel like I'm one of the very few people on the internet who corrects himself. Whenever I make a mistake, I do go and make a clarification. For example, I got something wrong with a content creator holding a stand-up competition that was absolute dog shit, and then someone came there and made fun of him, and I didn't know the full context. Once I got the full context, I went back and made a follow-up video to explain it in more depth with more clarity. I always do that. With Fresh and Fit, you really hung up on this idea that he fucked 3 women that night after meeting an NBA player at a bar, and they exchanged Instagram information, and it turns out they were Eskimo bros with the same girl's pussy. Like, it's an outrageous story. Now, whether or not it's true, you haven't proved it either. Were you there watching him fuck? Were you cheering him on?
He verified it. He showed the DMs with the basketball player. They did the whole podcast verifying the story.
The DMs.
You didn't correct it. Okay, so you didn't correct that. They did verify the story. You didn't correct it.
Did they have the basketball player? Did they have the basketball player and the 3 girls he fucked come on and be like, "Oh my god, he absolutely plowed the shit out of me. It was the best sex of my life." Did he have?
That would never happen. But he did show the DMs with the basketball player verifying the story that he did go to the party. Whether or not you want to believe he was with 3 women, I wasn't there either. I guess we're never gonna know. But he did get the DMs from the basketball player.
To add on to this, if there's even small elements of that story that are somewhat true, I guarantee the whole thing is still embellished, because the story he told is a work of fucking Tumblr fan fiction. It is not exactly how it played out under no universe, especially not for him. He is an extremely sensitive guy. He would probably have started crying after the first round of sex instead of going right to the next girl. Like, it is just not something that happened, and even if there is some elements of truth to the story, the whole thing is probably still not 100% accurate, and even still, the whole core of the video is the same. I was making fun of the guy. that would still stay entirely intact. Now I'm getting carried away with Fresh and Fit here. The conversational topic here was about not correcting things that I've got wrong. And I've actually prided myself on being willing to accept when I'm wrong. I think that's one of the most important qualities a person can have in something that is very unfortunately absent from most people in the current day and age, where everyone has this complete reluctance and this like, ooh, yuckiness, I can't be wrong, I have to be perfect all the time attitude. I am more than willing to embrace and accept when I get things wrong, which is why I've made so many videos saying, I was wrong about this, got this wrong, this one was off, and adding more clarity to situations that I've covered when more information came out, or if something turned out to be fraudulent. I have done that for years, and I always have. In the case of Fresh and Fit, there is nothing to fucking correct. Now, I'm going a little out of order of our conversation because we kept bouncing back and forth between certain things, fucking pinballing around, but I'm trying to connect all the points together. So we're going to talk about the Andrew Tate thing in a moment. That's something we talked about for a little bit because Tate is very clearly someone that is a heavy influence in Sneako's life. But before then, I do want to focus on a couple other things we talked about, and that's him victimizing himself constantly. This is something I've called out, and I wanted to hear his perspective on it. A lot of the things you critique the woke for are ones that you actively partake in. Victimization, that's a big thing with the woke, right? Constantly playing the victim. Do you recognize how often you play the victim in terms of like, I'm being canceled, everyone's against me, you go on your Discord to talk more about it, even this morning talking and naming and shaming people that you think have slighted you as like a cancellation. You do the exact same things. Like, you are also an SJW.
That's not victimizing. That's actively pointing out that literally every single stream, of the entire internet, all of YouTube, reacted to your video. I drop a response where I even apologize for going out of character and getting emotional. And then people... It's a million views in 12 hours. Nobody's watching my rebuttal. Some of them react to me and making me whine in animation, but nobody wants to see what I have to say. I've become a caricature on YouTube rather than somebody who has something to say. I've become a meme because I am banned. That's not victimizing. That's actively pointing out how strong censorship is and how people on mainstream platforms can run with the narrative when you're not there.
The way you just justified it is a way many other people that you call playing the victim would also be able to justify things. The point is, when you are constantly whining and talking about how you're being attacked, it is still being victimized. I tried to point a mirror at him to point out that a lot of the things he criticizes others for is things that he actively does himself, and the one I focused on was victimization. Because the way he justifies, playing the victim is justification people have used in the past that he calls out. So I was just trying to illustrate that it's not only hypocritical, but also just kind of silly
right now, one of these
that
is alive.
he, with all of his beliefs, still plays the victim and whines so much on Twitter. But that point wasn't really landing. We just kept kind of going in a circle about that one, so I don't want to focus on it too much here.
It's disingenuous, and now we're having the debate, but you would rather DM and go and make this about drama. Oh, let me go and react and do more drama content rather than have a conversation.
But I never did that.
I'm glad you're doing it now.
But you have to remember that I didn't start any of this. You reacted to me telling jokes about your friend and then had your audience tell me, and that went on for like 2 weeks, and so eventually I explained why I don't like you. And then when I did that, that was the only time I planned on talking about you. You went on stream with your gun to threaten me, and you kept it up for 3 months, adding me...
I didn't do that to threaten you. That was a joke about clips. You actually think I was threatening you.
Whether or not you were...
about victimized, you're gonna think, okay, you're gonna say victimized, and you're gonna say I'm actively trying to threaten you by saying a clips joke on a stream.
I don't think you were actually coming after my life. It doesn't change the fact that for 3 months you continued to carry it on. I wasn't reacting to you. I wasn't even talking about you. This was a quick point that I think he did see my side on. He likes to make the claim that I was farming him for views and AdSense money, which couldn't be further from the truth. I never wanted to talk about Sneako. I never had plans of doing it. He kept poking and prodding me until I did. And then, once I did, he wasn't happy that I was so mean in my response that for 3 months he did carry on this very one-sided beef until, once again, I decided to spit and play in the pig pen, and I made a tweet firing back at him after months of not even mentioning him, and then made a follow-up video. But it was never part of my agenda to do that. And I think after explaining it to him, he did see that he was really weak. And I am glad that he did have that, realization after our conversation that he was willing to accept that. I think that is healthy, that he was open to
Where's the
seeing
Lion King?
that, okay, maybe I was wrong, his intention wasn't draw my absence farming.
What do you think that I've said that I don't think?
So we'll use our beef for example. You think I'm weak for not taking you up on a boxing fight, but on the same side of that coin, you won't take Brandon Buckingham up on that boxing fight. The whole point was I don't stand by my beliefs because I won't fight you for it. Well, with that perspective, why wouldn't you fight Brandon Buckingham when you feel so strongly about your beliefs and he says the same things I do? Wouldn't you want to prove
Because
that you stand?
the first fight that I want to take would be against somebody, one, who has more clout than me, two, I disagree with ideologically. I don't disagree with him ideologically at all.
But he says the same things I say about you.
This person has been obsessed for a long time. He's suing me for emotional distress. Personally, I don't care about this person, and there's no benefit for me to take my first fight with this person.
So then your beliefs. The
reason I was banned on Twitter for challenging Hasanami to a fight. One, because a lot of people want to see that. He's well known. He disagrees with me completely. There's a lot of tension for that fight. If I fought you, you have said a lot of things that are very negative about me. There's beef in the air, and you talk a lot about me, some things that you probably wouldn't say to my face. It would be an entertaining fight.
But that's not the point. The whole point is you think I am weak, and you keep harping on this for not taking you up on the fight. But you won't take someone up on a fight that's saying the exact same things I am. So it seems like the beliefs, you don't stand by that strongly if you're not confident you can make a spectacle.
Charlie, we both know you wouldn't accept the fight.
Right, I've made that very clear.
We both know. Even when I challenge you, we both know. It's to point out that a lot of people talk a lot of talk online, and they never have to face the consequences because they stay in their room gaming all day. That was to point it out. Men are tired of seeing this back and forth internet drama. They want to see people go and settle it. I've never said a word about this person that you're bringing up. I haven't said a word about him since last summer. I won't say his name publicly again. I'm being sued for emotional distress. I'm leaving that alone. I have no problem with this person. We have gone back and forth. We're going back and forth on Twitter. People want to see it. People are tired of these keyboard warriors going back and forth. That was to point out the fact that men should not feel so comfortable talking a lot of talk on Twitter that they would never say in person.
You made claims of Brandon Buckingham being like a rapist and shit. Wouldn't that be something that you'd want to fight about at that point? Like
that was not a claim that I made. That was not a claim that I made.
I can't remember the specifics of it, but you did toss out the word rapist when talking about Brandon Buckingham. I don't remember the context it was used in, but you did mention it, right? So why is all of a sudden that now beneath you? Like, you don't have any problems with him now after he's willing to fight. The point is, you're talking about, you say these things and you don't have consequences. Well, what about you? You said these things. He's trying to give you those consequences that you think are so important, and you won't take him up on it. There is a clear hypocrisy.
Right, that was a different example. The guy was a previous fan. It's a giant misunderstanding. There's a lawsuit involved, so I can't talk about this too much, but that is not what I accused him of. I do not think he is that word. I never said that about him, and that's a lie. He wants to do it because there's an obsession going on, but that's irrelevant.
Well, it's all tying back into the point I'm making, where the things that you preach against, you yourself embody. I'm not trying to use this as a gotcha moment, but I do think it's important to illustrate here that Sneeko is still denying this claim, even though there's tons and tons of video evidence where he does say that Brandon Buckingham was threatening to rape someone. He says it multiple times, and that's what the lawsuit was about. But it doesn't prevent Sneeko from fighting Brandon Buckingham if he was open to it for defending the beliefs and stuff, which is the point I was trying to make.
I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend. Literally said that. And he said, I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend, bro.
This dude said he is going to R-word my girlfriend.
Bro, nothing warrants saying I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend. Saying you're gonna R-word my girlfriend?
You said that?
Yes. Word for word. I'm going to R-word your girlfriend.
Okay, talking shit by threatening R-word.
Claiming that someone said they're going to rape someone is insinuating they are a rapist for making the threat. So this is just a point that I think he was way off the mark on, because he did make these accusations against Brandon Buckingham.
Never going there.
Your energy. $50 on a course from vetted millionaires, or watching a game streamer for 6 hours every night?
Well, he didn't use the course to get rich. He's getting rich from the course, the same way that the course that you're selling is not like your main way that you made money. You are making money from that course now, as opposed to what the course is teaching. But again, this is getting completely sidetracked.
That's just not true. That's not my main source of income. I enjoy doing it.
Hey,
and
fucking
it's a way to
exactly.
have a
I knew
network.
that shows sometimes
Talk
gonna
about
just
all the
pop out
lonely
of
men that
nowhere.
are out there. What are you doing to go and help these people? We understand that there's a problem with loneliness of men. People get in there, they ask me questions about how do I network better, how do I
Leave me
find
alone.
people who are like-minded.
Ew.
Give them advice, and you can see them transform their
I don't want
life.
to see that
I'm
shit.
curious as to what you think is a better
That shit
alternative,
nasty as fuck,
because
my dude.
game, you stream gaming for 6 hours. Is that better than to men who are lonely watching people play video games? Or giving advice to men who don't know how to find a community of like-minded people, who don't know how to make money online, who want to live a lifestyle where, look, I'm in Japan. You're still in the same
Bro,
room
that's
that
a
I've seen you
hairy
in since high
finger.
school.
I can go places. I choose not to. I'm happy here the same way you're happy traveling in Japan. Like, these are non-arguments that you're making.
basically
It's the
nothing.
same argument
I've
of
never seen
why.
you outside of your room. And I don't know how many years I've seen you on YouTube. I've never seen you out of your room. I've seen you with dildos in your room, throwing it at each other and your friends. I've never seen you travel. I've never seen you network with other people. I've never seen you show your audience what's possible if they make money as well. I've seen you play video games since like 2016.
In one of the clips you showed of me, I am outside at Gasparilla with my girlfriend. What are you talking about? We got into a little bit more of a heated argument about this point. I do still take great issue with gurus charging for courses, much like Sneeko does with the Cr1TiKaL kit, and it's something he actually pitched a lot during our conversation. So it seems something that he's strongly believes in. I don't know if that's because of the monetary gain he experiences from it, or if he truly believes in
Get
something that's changing lives. But he did pitch it multiple times, because I pointed out that I don't like that kind of shit. It feels exploitative to people that are desperate and looking for anything, whether it's a sense of community or a sense of, here's how to get successful like me. When really the success is built upon the people that pay for it, not what you're preaching. At least the majority of the time that's the case. And then he made the false claim about, you know, you don't showcase what's possible because you stay in your room a lot. Which I do stay in my room a lot, but there is so much content on my channel where I'm outside of my room. It's baffling that he'd even try and make that claim with a straight face. And even in the number one thing he showed for me, which is the picture of me and my girlfriend, we are literally outside at a party. So I don't understand why he keeps making that claim that I don't leave my room or I'm only in the house. But it is something that I fought him on, and he did clearly see he was incorrect on. So another thing he was willing to concede. But still maintaining that courses like $50 a month isn't a lot of money, especially for the value he believes people get out of it. And maybe I can only speak for everything I've ever seen, but I've never read or met someone who is successful because they bought a online guru's course. I only ever see or hear about the people who lost so much more money than they ever had to spend because they're chasing this fucking hopium that's being peddled their way with these courses and guides. Now again, Sneeko's might not be that. I haven't read it, I'm not 100% sure, but the vast majority of these guru courses are completely worthless scams.
I hate these.
You're talking about things that are agreeable, and this is what I've said about Andrew Tate. He doesn't always say silly, dumb shit, but he does, and he couples it with good, real things, like you mentioned, porn addiction is a problem. Like, no one's gonna disagree with that. But everything that you're sprinkling in outside of it is totally fucking irrelevant to the rest of it, man. You going and flexing on your audience isn't showing them what's possible, it's showing what's possible when they're paying for your lifestyle. The advice you give, you thrive off them staying miserable, right? The second they get happy, the second they get money,
No,
the second
I definitely don't.
they will not
I
be
definitely
paying for
don't.
your course
If
anymore.
my audience does not get value from my content, they're going to leave. The reality is that streamers and content creators like you, the audience always grows up. They watch a little bit of the gaming content, then they grow up, they're not learning anything, and so they go to another content creator, they go to somebody else who's popular or trendy.
Forgot
You
they
need
like
to
to
add
climb
value to
walls
the
and
audience,
shit.
or else they are going to grow out of it.
And the
I know
value
the
from
factor of that.
the value of most things is entertainment. What you used to do was
Damn, dude.
humor interlaced with your stuff. Now it's just preaching to the choir of people that already subscribe to your hive mind. It's you're still
No,
doing the
that's what
same
you see
thing.
on Twitter. That's what you see on Twitter because that's the only mainstream platform that I'm still allowed to be on. If you watch my stream,
I have
haven't
watched
streamed
your
in a couple
streams.
weeks. When I watch my stream for 4 hours, it's not preaching. A lot of it's humor. My motto is seek truth through funny.
Which
I
you've
look at
abandoned.
what's going on in the world.
It seems you have completely abandoned that. I have watched your streams. I have. A lot of it devolves into just talking again about the same things you always mention. Soy boys, bots, woke mind virus, and then dancing around. And then always trying to defend and find the other side of something controversial. It's the same formula over and over again because that's how you found to keep your audience hooked. It's no different than
That's
people
not true. I go on Omegle and I'm joking around with people for an hour, 2 hours. I bring on my viewers and we joke to each other. I bring on people, real life people. They sit next to me and we joke around. I have different podcasts. I have different guests.
The jokes
just did a podcast with Ryan Dawson, uncovering Epstein and uncovering the truth about 9/11, which I really recommend that you go see. To an alternative platform that's labeled as an alt-right conspiracy website and still maintain the same audience. You can't do that by repeating the same things every day. You have to add some value.
But you can. That's the #1 grift right now. As long as you are contributing to an echo chamber, the people will not leave you. You form a reliance where they're constantly suckling your tit for validation that their point of view is the right one. And the more that you claim the victim, the more that solidifies and cements them that belief is the correct one because people are attacking
That's absolutely not true at all. I've been talking about the woke mind virus for a long time, and now my audience wants to get it to know the truth, so I've been interviewing different people. I did a whole podcast uncovering Epstein and who's actually on the client list because that's one big conspiracy theory that people want to know more about. I did an entire podcast uncovering 9/11 and the Iraq War and what happened and why war is created by deception. I'm getting into more things because if you get repetitive, they're going to leave.
Admittedly, I do feel bad doing one thing that I hate when other people do, which is, like he mentions, box him into categories. Because it is very possible, outside of all the content I've watched from him, that he does other things. Now, I have seen a lot of it. I've watched quite a few streams now, out of curiosity, since his big meltdown with the whole dancing with the gun thing about our beef. So I went on there and I did watch some of his streams from that point forward, but they always went the same way. But I do think it was unfair of me to try and box it in and say he's always doing the same thing when it is entirely possible that it's just my exposure to it and what I've seen so far. So I do completely concede that it is possible he does more and talk about more than just what I see on Twitter and the stream. But it is worth mentioning later into this discussion, he boxes me in and says all I do is sit in my room playing video games on stream for 7 hours a day. So he is still guilty of the same thing he's accusing others of, which is a point I like to make, but he doesn't fully realize when I say it to him, but hopefully, you know, after our conversation, he does take a step back and recognize, like, okay, I am guilty of a lot of the things I'm accusing others of. But anyway, that was a point that was kind of branching off from the core topic at this moment of the discussion, which was courses. I have no respect for people that are selling courses on, like, here's how you make money. The #1 way to make money, guaranteed success. You're gonna, you know, make it with this one, give me this amount of money every month for my book. I always find that to be exploitative, shitty, scummy, and completely useless. Those kind of creators, those kind of people, they rely on desperation. So let's think about this logically. Why would someone who's selling courses on happiness and how not to be lonely, how to get laid, or how to make money, why would they actually want you to succeed? Because then they lose you as a customer. It is far more in their interest to keep you miserable to keep buying the product. And it is something a lot of them are guilty of doing. Now, I haven't seen Sneako's creativity kit, so I can't say for sure if he is also guilty of it as well. Maybe he does try and offer legitimate advice and actually help people. It is possible. But that's not the case for the vast majority of them, which is why I always call it out as this is scummy, or at the very least, unnecessary. We live in a time where you have access to all the information you could ever want. You just need to search. You don't need to be paying people that you view as successful to learn their secrets, when those secrets they're revealing aren't what they used to be at Welcome in the first place. It's selling you hope. When you are buying their product, you are filling their pockets. That is the product, the book. Not what's in it, it's the book. They're making their money off your purchase of the book. They're not making their money off of the advice they've given you. At least not the majority of the time. And that's what I was trying to talk about here.
Dude,
what are your
traps
beliefs?
anymore?
What
I already
are
went
they?
through the whole thing.
I don't know them. Can you tell me what you believe in?
Yeah, I feel like I've made my beliefs very clear. I am very firmly on the side of there are certain things, and it's going to be different for everyone, that make people happy. And main thing I want is for people to be happy. I don't like that men are alone, which is why a lot of the advice I give is telling them to get out of their comfort zone and start with something like the gym. The gym is a very social environment. It's an environment where everyone's working towards similar goals. You immediately surround yourself with like-minded people, And maybe you make a connection at the gym, maybe you can find a friend there, but even if you don't, you are out of your comfort zone in an environment where people are working for a similar goal. And that already changes your mindset as a person. You've given yourself a goal, you are acting on it, and now you're surrounded by people that are also in a similar boat.
We collected
I
everything
think
in the middle.
most
the
importantly
courtyard.
is I
Let's
want
get it.
people to be happy, and a lot of times they can't find that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with escapism, like watching someone play a game, or even playing games yourself. Watching a sport, playing a sport yourself is also great. I play pickup basketball every Thursday. Getting out, talking, outside of a comfort zone, instead of sitting online making 20,000 tweets on the Sneeko Twitter, I think is not productive. Replying to Sneeko's Twitter, replying to my Twitter, none of it I think is productive. I've had Twitter since 2012. I've made 2,600 tweets, and half of those are just shit posts or a retweet. I think all of that, locking yourself inside as a recluse, living in this completely toxic landscape like Twitter, is the most detrimental thing for a person, and that extends to TikTok as well. I think TikTok has absolutely ruined people's brains in terms of what they can even stomach as an attention span. Having to have, like, Subway Surfer underneath a video of someone talking because you can't focus long enough, I think it's all a problem. So the things I talk about are usually geared towards either entertaining people for 8 minutes a day or whatever, or during a stream if they're already home from work and just need to unwind. I think all of that is fine. But I do always try and give some level of advice. My background, I don't know if you know, I'm a human science graduate with a concentration in exercise physiology. I believe very firmly in the mind-body connection in terms of strength building and muscle building. It's going to change your whole brain chemistry, and it will help improve the way you're looking at the world. So that's one of the big things I talk about, is even if you're 100% comfortable with your body, there is no reason not to at least try to make these kind of differences and change your perspective on things. Like, it doesn't even have to be a body issue. It helps your mind overall. I am always against people paying for advice from so-called gurus and professionals because you don't need it. The beauty of the internet is it is an unlimited repository of all of the human knowledge, just this compendium of every piece of information for every subject you could want. And you can access it for free. Under no circumstances do I ever advocate for someone paying up to $50 a month for advice they can freely find right now, even if it doesn't come with a built-in...
Gamers always have the argument, but then they never talk about how college is a waste of time and that people go into $50,000 to $100,000 in debt to people who aren't vetted millionaires. If you could pay $50 and talk to a vetted millionaire who has made money online in a way that they don't teach in school, $50 is a steal. People get really upset about this because you're paying somebody directly and you know who you're spending the money on. You don't get upset about college because you don't know the principal, you don't know the headmaster, you don't know the donors. They're nameless people behind a university. So the point of the network is collection of information concentrated in one place, and also the network of people that you can find. Right here, I'm in Japan traveling with somebody that I met from the Creativity Kit. That is something that is invaluable and that you will only find by paying $50, which is not a huge price.
That is a big price, but also, do you see what just happened there? You went in...
$50 is a huge price. That's the same price as your merch that you're using to advertise on this drama. Would you rather your audience pay $50 for a t-shirt from a gamer, or they meet somebody that they can go start a business with?
That the merch isn't $50 for a t-shirt, but regardless, what I want you to recognize is what happened there. I was talking...
It is.
Okay. It's still not, but... What just happened there is I was talking about something and you went into PR speak and salesman mode to talk about your course. And you attributed something to me that I actually talked against. I actually have spoken many times about why college just isn't right for everybody. It's not. It simply isn't. I think college provides an invaluable social experience where for the first time in your life you're on your own, so you learn how to fend for yourself, you learn how to interact with roommates, strangers, so you get social skills, but college is not going to be a great fit for everyone, especially when it comes to certain academia positions, especially like in some art fields. I actually talk a lot
Shoot
about
me out, man.
But you keep lumping me in with this perception of a gamer and these beliefs that you don't know anything about me on, and yet you still put me in there.
Then you should probably make it more clear.
I do.
I've been personally watching your videos for years, and I had no idea about any of this.
So,
I've seen you gaming. I've seen you react to drama content.
I hate those things,
I didn't know that was your method to make people happy, which I think is a narrow way of answering that question about what you believe in and what your belief system is.
I was still
but that's fine. But I'm glad that you said that, and I think that you should reiterate that more in your video to add more value to your audience.
So you said you've watched for a long time. These aren't secrets. I made a video 6 years ago. I just double checked. I uploaded a video 6
Fuck's
years ago
texting
called
me.
"You're Getting Fucked by College Textbooks." The entire video is about how college textbooks in particular are a massive scam and a very
Okay,
predatory
we're safe.
system that universities are using. I do talk about these things. You are just not seeing them and then still
Okay,
putting words
let's
in
get
my
it.
mouth.
We got Grace.
My beliefs, I think, are very clear to the people that watch. They're not a secret.
Get a water
They're
bottle.
not hidden.
Fuck
I
it.
make them very obvious. It was after this brief discussion here that the entire landscape of our conversation changed, and it became very clear Sneeko never knew anything about me to begin with. He keeps calling me a
Octopus
gamer, using the hard G on me, gamer. And I think that might be because that's the only content he ever watched. But I really don't think I've ever made a secret what my beliefs are. I talk about them on stream, I talk about them in videos, I've never been fearful of
I
it.
don't know.
And yet
Octopus
Sneeko
King, bro, who is
either
this?
pretends he never saw them, or maybe he just legitimately never saw them. But after explaining to him,
I don't even know
he
who
really
that
seemed to
is.
change his whole tone about me as a person. I'm not a psychiatrist here or an expert in the field, but if I had to wager a guess, I think Sneeko
Well,
put
this
an image
is
of me in his
Tammy
head
bullshit.
and attributed a whole ton of characteristics to that scarecrow that he put in there that just isn't actually me in reality. And that's who he attacks so vehemently. Whereas I do know a lot about Sneeko, because there is a big difference between us in terms of our belief. It's all the fuck he talks about. It's the only thing that ever leaves his mouth is always preaching about something or trying to make a big statement about their beliefs or their politics. Whereas that's not me. The main thing I focus on is just entertainment. My videos are made purely for fun. It's just because I thought it'd be entertaining, it's a silly topic, it's something fun, and that's it. There's never really anything too much deeper. Unless it's a topic I'm covering that I'm passionate about, or I have something more I want to add on to it about my own personal beliefs, then I do. I'm never afraid to. But it's not all I talk about, whereas for Sneeko and a lot of people in his circle, their main content is talking about what
Let's
they
get it.
believe, whereas my main thing is just making entertaining shit. So maybe that's a core misunderstanding here, because he clearly didn't really know much
I need
about
plus
me.
5 for my weapon.
Whereas I do know a lot about him,
Plus 4
since
thing
he's
I
so
do know.
open with everything. He wears his fucking heart on his sleeve. And I just
It's too
disagree
far
with
down.
a lot of it. But a big difference is, I don't hate people that I disagree with on things. In fact, there is nobody in the
This
world,
piece of
not even
shit.
my best friends, that I agree with on every issue, every time, and see eye to eye on everything.
can't do that.
I don't like that anyway. I wouldn't want to have someone I agree with on everything. I think it's important to have different perspectives and
this
different
up.
opinions. It's how you grow and it's how you learn as well. So I don't get mad when people disagree with me or have
Holy
different
shit.
things that I don't agree with. That doesn't piss me off. But for Sneeko, it clearly has, and he
Oh,
really
finally I got
didn't
a
even know
fucking
anything
brass
about me to
shield.
begin with here until after our conversation. Now, I know I'm cutting up our conversation quite a bit here, but I'm just trying to focus on like the big topics that we tackled. One of them that we did touch on quite a bit and got pretty passionate about is gaming. And like, Sneeko firmly believes that people that are gaming or watching are wasting their time. It's completely valueless. Entertainment like that has no value whatsoever. And I kept trying to point out that there's nothing wrong with entertainment, like watching sports, watching movies, watching streams, playing games. All of that's fine in moderation. But Sneeko only views it through one lens, which is excess, obsession, addiction, where all they do is watch sports, play games, do this and that. And then, of course, it is very detrimental, and it is bad for overall health. I'm not going to
Yeah.
bother showing clips from that because that one just really went in circles. I think there's just a fundamental disagreement there where Sneeko believes anything that's entertainment-driven is just not worth it, and time could always be spent better doing anything else. But then he puts his content on a pedestal that's an exception to his rule where, no, this content that I make is the one that's valuable. Everything else is worthless. This is the value. This, 4 hours, 5 hours of Rumble streaming and, whatever's going on over there, that's a good use of time, and all the other streams like gaming and all that's terrible. So that got really muddy and messy, and there wasn't really any way we met somewhere
Fuck.
and like had a perspective that made sense to each other, because his stream is just as much guilty of being
Shit.
a waste of time by his definition as my stream playing a game. It's still a form of
Fuck. Yeah,
entertainment.
okay, I'm
and
getting a water
escapism, no
bottle.
matter how you spin it. I don't see how your message is somehow bolstered by spamming slurs, for example. Like during that stream with the gun. I couldn't listen to you because you kept saying slurs. How is that necessarily helping make people happy or positive in any way, shape, or form? What does that do to contribute to your overall goal? Because it's not humor either, so it's not seeking truth through funny. It's literally just spamming slurs because you were mad at me.
It is, the reason that it's funny is because I'm on a platform that has free speech, and you're not bound by wokeness where you can't say certain words and you're labeled racist or homophobic or transphobic, where you can say things even if you don't mean them, because we're not trapped with words.
But why say something you don't? Why say something you don't mean though? What does that do? Wouldn't that go against your ideology where you're like faking it?
That's not a word. A word doesn't encourage. A word doesn't encompass a whole belief system. A word can be funny. The word faggot is funny. That was the funniest thing you said this whole debate.
How is that? I don't.
You're laughing now. See?
Well, it's because it's just it's an outrageous claim. It's like talking to a child.
Outrageous.
Well,
You're
no,
proving
like
my point. It's
no.
outrageous. It's funny.
Your defense
This is
of
the
it.
first time we laughed this whole time. First time we laughed this whole thing.
This is
because of one little word.
Yes, because it's such a silly defense of it. It's like a child who hears fuck for the first time and he's like, "Woo, daddy said fuck." Like things started to go a little goofy mode here, a little wacko style. So the slurs is something I've mentioned. I couldn't watch him on stream because he just kept saying the F slur. And my point here was, why? It doesn't really accomplish anything for his goals or anything like that. He's just spamming slurs, which makes it sound like he's just mad at me and trying to choose the worst words he can think of. Now looking back on it, I do regret not pushing a bit more on this point because there was a lot I wanted to say on it, but I just got so thrown off and blown away by his explanation of all of it that I totally forgot to expand. Because he really only says the F slur, the homophobic slur. And he says it doesn't encompass a whole belief system. Okay, well then why is it only that slur? I don't think I've ever heard him start spamming the N-word, hard R, or anything like that. And he's very open about how much he appreciates the Islamic faith. I've never heard him use any slurs against Muslims or anything like that. So if you feel so strongly that words don't necessarily indicate your actual beliefs, then why aren't you using more slurs? Why don't you drop more racist slurs during your stream? Why is the only one you use the F slur? If this is really how you feel about those words, then why aren't you using all of the other slurs? If they don't mean anything, and you feel so comfortable with Rumble allowing you to use the F slur so loosey-goosey, why is it only that one? Why not every slur? I'm just curious if there's like a tier list of slurs for you. I would have liked to ask more on that, but I guess I'll do it now in post. Which seems like you can recognize.
I need to raise my stamina.
Do you believe that Andrew and Tristan Tate are innocent?
That I don't know. They could be, and I've said that from the start.
You don't have a belief on that?
Well, because I don't have the evidence. They've been charged twice with the human trafficking, but none of the evidence is public.
You didn't look at all the victims and their allegations and how everything was exposed on WhatsApp, how they plan to make a Netflix movie out of this. All of that was online. I think.
But then,
if you cover current events, this is something you jump onto the pizza box, but you don't take the time to go and look at all the evidence that was debunked.
That's not true, though, because
like, why do you spend the narrative laughing at somebody falsely in prison, but you can't go and just look at a couple screenshots and see that as garbage? You're laughing at the pizza box putting 2 people in jail because of what you saw on Twitter. When I say the word faggot or I say a slur, it's just a funny word to say. There's no consequences for that. Nobody goes to jail falsely.
I have looked at the evidence from both sides. I always do. I don't just go to these tribes and just assume everything on my side is right and everything on that side is wrong.
Ooh,
I take information from all angles in order to find where I personally sit on this perspective of the situation. So, for the Tate brothers, being charged twice with human trafficking, while there is some shady shit from the victims, there is still real merit to
so
some
much
of the
shit
things that people were talking about, such as
holy fuck,
the taking of the passports from some of the women and getting there under the guise that they would be able to date them. Those are very odd, very peculiar things. So it's not like it's just, oh, all of that's wrong and we have to disregard all of it because
holy
this is
shit.
There is, on both sides here, evidence that makes it a very complicated case, which is why it's gone on for so long, right? It's not one where I know the answer. They could be innocent, they could be guilty. I do think it's weird they've now been charged twice. But there is some very odd things there because that's not exactly a light thing to come after someone for, and there is things that you have talked about.
It's wrong that people can go to jail for 4 months without any evidence or charges?
And even outside of the Tates, I have said that in this country, where you can go to jail on suspicion of things without ever being charged. It's a problem. Yes, it is a problem.
Okay. I didn't see that video. I saw the video laughing about the pizza box putting in jail.
Right.
Did you make a video about that?
Yes, and I talked. Well, it's in that video where I say I don't know if he's guilty. I don't like if there's real victims here. Like, I would never celebrate someone being a human trafficker because there's victims. I wouldn't celebrate him being a human trafficker. That means there are real victims there. Even though I disagree with like his Hustlers University and a lot of the dumb shit he says, I wouldn't want him to be a human trafficker. That means there are real victims being in terrible situations. I did say that, and I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's innocent. Nobody does right now, except for them and whatever's going on in Romania. The joking about a pizza box is things I make about anything that has craziness around it, like the Gwyneth Paltrow trial. There's so much silliness there that I talk about, but at the end of the day, I don't know who's innocent or guilty. I'm joking about the goofiness of things that have come up, right?
Let's get it. We got Grace.
Alright, yeah, I gotta get going.
Now, he mentioned Andrew Tate, and this is another thing. Andrew Tate is very clearly an important figure in Sneako's life. And I made 2 videos covering Andrew Tate. One of them joking about Hustlers University and just a lot of the silly things that he's done, and the other when he got arrested. So, let's talk about that. I have always maintained that Andrew Tate is a very entertaining clown most of the time, but much like a lot of personalities online, especially ones that sell courses, he has to sprinkle in very agreeable things with some of his rants. So he has good things that he actually will say, especially in terms of like men and their loneliness, and how working out is extremely beneficial to helping with mentality and just general overall mood and well-being. So he does say agreeable things that I've always said he has done a decent job of with those certain topics. But on the whole, most of the things he says are just outrageous nonsense about like how he doesn't watch Star Wars and that's why he gets pussy and has expensive cars, or why books are stupid. Like, there's a lot of silliness there, and Hustlers University, I have always maintained, is completely exploitative of desperate men. So yes, I have made jokes about Andrew Tate. I am not their biggest fan. Now, when I did cover the arrest, I did mention the pizza box theory. At the time, that was reported by multiple outlets as a very real possibility that led to his arrest. So at the time I did report on it, I did say it seems, talking about like this being the speculation as to why they finally pursued him now. But yes, I do understand that that was heavily disputed after the fact, a couple days later. But I did talk about it and joke about the pizza box thing, which made Sneako in particular very upset, thinking that I was laughing at 2 men falsely imprisoned. Which I've never laughed about. I've laughed about the idea of Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate being thrown in jail because of pizza boxes. I have also laughed and made jokes about some of the tweets that Andrew has made while in jail, such as talking about practicing his dragon karate fist that would break through every known metal on Earth and fucking shatter tungsten or whatever. And yeah, I joked about the tweet where he's talking about like ghosts that he's killed, making himself sound like the goddamn paranormal firing squad out there, keeping the halls of the prison safe from ghouls and spirits. And while I made jokes at the idea of a pizza box leading to prison time, it wasn't the actual core idea of 2 innocent men potentially being in jail that gave me a big hearty belly laugh or anything like that. It was the outrageous circumstances surrounding it. I don't know if they're guilty. As I said in the video, I don't know if they are. I do find it weird that they've been charged with the same thing twice with multiple raids now. But at the end of the day, if they're innocent, I don't want to see them in jail. The reasoning for keeping them in jail was like a potential flight risk, like leaving the country, so I guess that was the explanation for it. But I have talked in the past about being imprisoned with no charges as being something I don't fucking agree with, which isn't a controversial take. So all of these things that contributed to me were things that I didn't actually believe, or in my opinion, do. Talking about the pizza box thing the day that it happened wasn't outlandish. It wasn't until a couple days later where that was more debunked and heavily scrutinized. But even then, I still talked about it more of like a silly idea if this was the case. And the jokes I made about Andrew Tate were mainly about the response to Andrew Tate going to jail, like some of the unhinged tweets about how, well, if it's true, human trafficking's not really that big of a deal anyway, so it's still bullshit. It's not that big of a charge, which is still a crazy thing to say. The whole thing was never really about whether or not he truly was guilty or innocent, because I don't know. I still don't know. Nobody still knows because it's still an ongoing investigation. So we did talk about that. He did see where I was coming from, and I was appreciative that he was willing to hear my explanation for where I stand on all of that. And I do think that we came to understand each other's perspective on it. Getting towards the end of our conversation, we started talking once again about one of the things that I really tried to drive home and hope to have some kind of breakthrough on the way that he perceives jokes and insults, like in trying to find what his line was. because he calls a lot of things hit pieces, like when Willie Mack makes a video breaking down like a lot of Sneako's most baffling moments or like really big
Right next
L's.
to the
Willie Mack will
Giants.
point them out and make jokes about it. That's not cancellation to me,
Hey, what's
but
up,
to
buddy?
Sneako it is. And I kept trying to get to the bottom of that, and we did have more discussion on it, but I don't think we ever really reached a ground where I like agreed with him on his definition of like what canceling is versus what joking is. So like Meat Canyon, he mentions he had no problem with it, he had a good sense of humor about it and found them to be enjoyable. Like that's great, but then why doesn't that same thing extend to someone who also still makes jokes about it like Willie Mack did? When I really just feel like it's the same thing. There is deplatforming, advocating for deplatforming, and then there's just insulting someone. And I haven't seen a ton of people advocating for Sneako to be
I'm not gonna go past
deplatformed,
this
aside from a
Lawrence.
couple
Oh,
of very
figure out
rare
everything that's
instances of
around
that.
here.
The rest I see as people just dunking on him,
I?
the same way that he dunks on people he doesn't like. So we did just keep going in circles around that for like another 20 minutes, so I don't really think there's any reason to show too much of that. But I would like to get
That
into
is so
our closing
risky.
statements, and then something crazy happened at the very end.
Look at the way that people who are telling the truth get painted as. They get painted as these incel, virgin, loser, racist, misogynist. They try to box you in instead of tell the truth about you, because I think that they don't like what you're talking about. But I would like for us to have another conversation in the future. I like that you have a good message about how people should be happy. I like that you're advocating for the gym and you're playing basketball and you're telling people to get out of their comfort zone. I think that those are all really good things. And I do think that you're funny. I can't deny about that. Like, it's a little monotone, but you're funny.
I do appreciate the conversation. After our conversation,
How
there
is
really
he
wasn't
mad
a
at
ton
me,
of
bro?
hostility left. I really feel like
He ain't
Sneako
gonna
built
do
me
nothing.
up very differently in his
Can't
head
come
to
up
paint
here
me
or
as a
anything.
villain in his own mind. And the reality is, I just didn't match that description. Now, for me, I did know a lot about Sneako, but after talking to him, I feel like a large part of that is a persona that he's putting on. The way he conducted himself in this conversation, I was actually really surprised with. He was much more calm. Like, he is still very passionate, clearly, but he's not having a fucking conniption and a meltdown like I've seen him do so many times in the past. So I do feel like it was a productive conversation, and there are just things that I will always disagree with him on. I'm not seeing eye to eye with a lot of the things he talks about, and that's just the reality of it. And it's that
Come
way
up
with a
here.
lot of people. Like I said, there's no one in the world I see eye to eye on everything. But there are very big differences between us
Holy
in terms of things that we believe. And after talking to him, it really seems like he himself got
Forgot he
lost in
does like
his
his
own
little
sauce,
spasm ass
and
move.
he did talk about like trying to change his approach to things to deliver a more positive message.
50 ankles.
And that makes me pretty interested to see where he takes that. Like, if he truly does
Completely missed.
he did recognize that he hadn't been doing
He
a
completely
super effective
fucking
job of it, as of the time of this conversation, and wanted to work on ways of rectifying that. I'm very curious to see how he goes about it, and if he truly was
And I
being
gotta go
genuine.
around again.
So the conversation, I do think, was a pretty fascinating and important one to have. And one thing that happened that I still can't believe is real is during our conversation, people came up to him to talk to him, and me as well.
It comes from a place of cope and of jealousy because they see people
I'm
who
just
are living
running
a
through the
lifestyle
area. I don't care
opposite
about
of
the
them,
giant.
and instead of admitting that there's a
It's not
different
worth
path
it.
or admitting that they could have a good point, they try to bring down their character. That's the common theme I see with these people. So the intentions that I see from these people in the collage, they're not pure, they're not good. It's jealousy and it's hate.
Again, that is still
No
something
stamina,
they could
has
say
question
about
mark.
you as well.
Holy shit.
That's just one of the things I was really...
This faggot.
And that's why you made me realize
Uh,
that this whole hate brigade on Sneako in the recent weeks. I'm going to repurpose my message now. I'm not going to... What up, man? Do you know Moist Critical? Hey,
Oh
say
my,
what's
he's
up,
gonna go
man.
through the wall.
Say hi. Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, look.
I saw you on Twitter.
hey.
What's happening in the world right now? Yeah, we saw me. What do you think of the
Finally,
beginning
you get
video?
the sword.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hey Charlie, what's up, man?
It was
Hey,
funny.
how's it
We
going,
laughed
man?
about it.
Cool.
Yeah. We squashed the beef.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I've been actually hard.
It's funny.
I think that's a good way to end it on. Hope we could talk again in the future. I don't think we should have beef. And yeah, you did. I want to thank you for starting that whole Sneako hate brigade, because it's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I am guilty of doing the same things that I am mad about. And I do attribute a lot of that to being canceled and a lot of resentment about that. But I just have to spread positivity now and not engage in the same type of behavior that I criticize. Yeah, you're right about that. So I'm just going to go and, I'm not going to go attack it anymore. I don't think that there's any value to that. It's just going to come back to me.
Well, I actually really appreciate the conversation, man. It's nice to hear like a more human side of you outside of like, what I see on Twitter or Rumble. I actually do think this was a very valuable conversation, so I appreciate you taking. I really appreciate you taking the time to have a bit of a call with me about it.
Yeah, thanks, man. And
about to be upset.
Mags, not clips.
Yeah, from now on, bro, if you're gonna be talking about guns, get the terminology right. You very much offended me with that one.
Yo, what's up, Mr. Bowl? Next.
I think Shopify has definitely helped us and many businesses get started. Actually, my wife, she was the one that brought it to me. I was handling different platforms, and it's actually
that's so satisfying. Just
that went into a business from like shipping,
break pods,
messaging, and everything that you can imagine that you didn't imagine about a business is there. And Shopify provides that for you through tutorials and gives you like recommendations, and it shows you like, oh, customer that buys this leggings, they like to get this type of ball.
I'm able to do all of my email marketing through Shopify. They also allow you to chat with your customers live while they're on the site, which is an amazing feature that any shop owner can use.
I love personally about Shopify is you can upload photos and videos.
Why am I still watching this?
In the late 90s, a very popular Japanese game show tortured a man for a year and broadcast it every Sunday night. This isn't like reality TV where it's all fake and scripted, not to ruin Christmas for all the believers out there. This was legitimately torturing another human being for the sake of entertainment. And it was extremely popular, averaging 17 million viewers every Sunday night that they'd play the clips. That's absolutely massive even by today's standards. It's more viewers than the last 4 years of the NBA Finals and the World Series. And obviously more than most television shows get. For reference, The Boys season premiere got around 8 million viewers, and according to YouTuber Cr1TiKaL, who also covered this story, the most viewed episode of Game of Thrones got around 16 million viewers, so it even beats that. Just an absolutely massive success, but it doesn't stop there. The producers knew there was still a little milk left in those teats and they wanted to suckle. So they actually turned it into
damn, I didn't even know you can do that. Okay, we're good.
Live stream where you could log on online and watch him suffer in real time. So whenever you were just feeling
now he's up there.
particularly quirky, you could hop in there and watch a man be miserably tortured for the better part of a year. Doesn't that sound like fun? What a great way of starting the day. A nice bowl
Well,
of
I knew he
cereal
could do
and
that.
milk
It's
for
just I didn't
breakfast and
fucking know he
watching
was
a
gonna do
man's
it.
sanity slowly deteriorate as he dances around naked in absolute agony. Wonderful. This is the story of Nasubi. As I briefly mentioned, another YouTube channel named Cr1TiKaL made a great video
I
on
don't
this
want to go
topic,
back down there.
but I wanted to go even deeper.
I'm just gonna do that.
Caleb, Chelsea, and I
I'm not going
really
through
did a
hands thing, bro.
fucking deep dive,
I have a natural
spreading
fear
the
now
foul
of
cheeks
those
this
things, bro.
situation
That's
wide
just
open,
me.
going through live streams, all of the broadcast clips, in order to really handle on just how wild this whole thing was. So let's begin. In 1998, a popular Japanese game show named Susumu Dimpa Shonen held a raffle to find their next contestant for an upcoming show they were working on called A Life of Prizes. Nasubi ended up winning the lottery and was ecstatic. He believed this was going to be a big break for him since he was also an up-and-coming comedian, and he was escorted to a small apartment where he was then instructed to take off all of his clothes in order to participate in the game. The challenge was he would have to survive in this apartment on nothing but his winnings from sweepstakes. They only provided him with water, and he was told that he would not be allowed to leave or communicate with the outside world or have any access to anything that he didn't directly earn through magazine sweepstakes. He was told that he'd need to win 1 million yen, which at the time, 1998, was right around 8,000 US dollars, through only mail-in magazine sweepstakes in order to complete the challenge and be released from the
Back
room.
up.
And yes,
Back
this
up.
does include food.
Don't
They
attack.
didn't provide
Okay.
him food. The only food he'd have access to is the food that he earns through mail-in sweepstakes. It just feels like there were better odds of a bird carrying
It's like your sons are
$10,000
not
in its mouth
powerful enough.
crashing through the apartment window and actually earning 10 grand through mail-in sweepstakes. This shit is like something you would actually hear of like fucked up prison guards at Guantanamo Bay doing as like a joke or something. It's so cruel and brutally difficult.
It's so cute though.
But Nasubi did actually pull it off.
But
It
that's
took
hack
Nasubi 335
Why do they
days
do that?
total to finally make enough money
Like
to
the
be
mushrooms
released from it. Or at
from
least
Dark Souls
so
1
you think.
and 2.
This is actually only the tip of the iceberg here, but I just want to give you the story in a nutshell. And I also want to explain the name Nasubi, because that's not actually the contestant's real name. His actual name is Tomoaki Hamatsu. The name Nasubi actually means eggplant. And he got this because the producers used an eggplant to censor his genitals for the broadcast, and they also said that his head resembled the shape of an eggplant. The whole point of the Susanoo Dinpashona broadcast here was to laugh at Nasubi, and people were. 17 million people having an old hoot and a holler, real side-splitting comedy, watching a man be legitimately tortured. Nasubi believed that he was being recorded and that the clips were going to be re-edited and broadcast for TV. So he would come in and like update people on what he's doing, like I just won this can of cat food, I just won this bicycle, and then he'd like dance around and try and make it entertaining, but he never knew that he was being live streamed the whole time. He was under the impression that it was just going to be moments from the challenge. Not that every excruciating second of this challenge was being broadcast to all of Japan. Extremely
I'm going through the big door.
Situation, and this is just the bare outline of it. What I want to do for this video is actually go through a lot of clips and moments from this live stream and the broadcast, as well as just everything surrounding it, because it is so baffling. It is bizarre that this actually happened. I remember Vsauce did a video on what happens to the mind when you're cut off from stimulation in the outside world for an extended period of time. And unsurprisingly, it is so psychologically damaging to be completely alone and isolated like Nasubi was. And Vsauce only did like a few days. Nasubi did over a year, 15 months total.
なんと
書いていると
はい
誰かが来た、
はい
宅急便、
やった来た第1号
気分フードケミファさんのファイバーゼリー12個入りでご
No
ざいま
my.
す。
いただき
That
ます
sucks.
This was Nasubi's first big win, a fat dubski. He was able to secure 12 pots of fiber jelly. I don't know what the fuck fiber jelly is. I've never heard of it in my life. That sounds like a made-up substance in the movie Snowpiercer, but it was huge for Nasubi because it's his first bit of food since this started, so he was extremely hungry and was able to get some nutrients. This wasn't the first thing he applied for, though. The first sweepstakes he was entering
Oh, I
were
thought
for
those
clothing items. He wanted to cover up, obviously, because being naked
Oh, look,
can
the
be
boss gate.
cold, uncomfortable, especially
Maybe
since it's
the
being
boss
filmed.
gate. Yeah, it's
So
probably
he
the
had
boss gate.
applied for an apron first, but he didn't.
Oh, this
や
is
っ
the
た
boss.
また何か当たったんだ。
はいあはいわかりましたはい
当選か、
え
全部で1700円。すいません、間違えました。
Obviously, since Nasubi was trapped in isolation, cut off from the rest of the world, he cherished every single knock at that door. It was the only bit of human interaction he gets. So he'd get excited, and of course, he's expecting to win something since why else would someone be knocking at the door? So he gets really hyped up, like, hey, finally something came that's gonna help me get closer to completing this challenge.
Holy shit, the
But
amount
that
of magic
wasn't always
spamming
the
is
case.
crazy.
Like in these two clips here, sometimes it was just fucking cool, where a postman knocked on his door just to let him know that he needs to put his name on the mailbox or some shit. And then also someone
Bro,
put
donkey
the wrong
kicked me.
address
The
for a
fuck?
ramen delivery, so he couldn't even have the ramen after smelling it. Like,
The
it was just
fuck is he
really
doing?
sad.
米か、
でんでね
I really thought this was the boss gate. Whatever.
お米5
Tower.
キロです
Finally, it seems fortune's looking up for Nasubi here. He's able to secure 5 kilograms of rice. But then things get heartbreaking
nice.
when he realizes he has no way of cooking the rice.
Nice, dragon.
Because he'd need to win a pot from a sweepstakes.
Alright, there's like
in
2
order to
dragons I
lose
gotta
it.
fight already,
So he
bro.
just has 5 kilograms
Oh
of rice
my.
that he can't cook. It's fucking terrible. You know, like it's a treasure that you can't have. So he gets desperate and he starts resorting to eating the rice raw.
ママグロをかじる
お願いします。おかゆにでもちゃんとなってください。申し訳ないですけどね。ちょっとこれは失敗じゃないですか。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待ってよこれ。
実験成功
見て。
Exploring the edges of this place. Fortnite, fuck off. I'll play it later. Or when the rain stops. Internet connection, or not internet. My Ethernet
Unable to
connection is
continue eating the
horrible.
rice raw, Nasubi knew he needed to find some way to cook it, so he went full fucking Jimmy Neutron here. He hatched an idea to put the rice into one of the jelly fiber containers, and he put hot water in it, left it out overnight, hoping to make it somewhat cooked. As you can see in the clip, he said even if it's gruel, just make it into something. It didn't work at all. So he came up with another plan to put it in the fiber jelly container.
Oh, I gotta
put it in the
fight
hot water,
it.
And set it next to the
It looked
gas
pretty.
burner. So that way it would not quench it by proxy. And this worked. He
Oh
was able to cook
shit,
the rice, and now he had an efficient way of
Ross the
cooking
wrong
it.
Estes, that's not even Estes flask, bro. Is everything in here just magic spam, bro? Holy shit.
Ne?
Nasubi was chipping away at that goal, winning more prizes, such as a bicycle, which on the surface seems pretty useless since he was going to take it outside, but he turned it into a stationary bike, and I'm sure that was like a good way of stimulating him.
Of 27,000 souls, bro.
So he'd eat his water and rice.
Rules, whatever. This game, bro.
Started to look like my fucking dorm room from college, just a bicycle and all kinds of miscellaneous shit all over the place.
来ましたね、見事に。いやいや、やってみるもんですね。ほら。
お米の炊き方98年3月はニューバージョンです。
ちゃってるよこれ。もう。トレビアン。
He also upgraded his whole cooking operation by using a pin in a can of sake. He was able to create a pretty efficient cooking apparatus, so he was able to make rice more efficiently. He was even able to cook spaghetti now. So he was really like climbing up the tech tree here by just being an absolute fucking genius. And it's also worth noting some of the more useless things he won, like the bicycle, wasn't entirely worthless because that helped increase the value of his winnings, bringing him closer to that.
Oh, it was a grace the whole time.
So
I
even if
just
he
didn't see it.
couldn't get a ton of usage out of it directly. Just having it in the room was beneficial because it gets him closer to being done with the challenge.
瞬間が訪れようとしているしかし
あ、でもちょっと厳しいね。こんな
小さすぎた。
That's crazy.
ちょっとね。
Now, it's been about 2 months in this clip here, and according to Atrocity Guide, Nasubi submitted 5,748 sweepstakes entries in the first month. So you can imagine that he's right around that 11,000, 12,000 sweepstake entry ballpark, and he is just now winning his first article of clothing, which are used panties from someone named Hitomi-chan. I want to say I had no idea the used panty market spanned this far back in time. This is 1998. I thought soiled panties, used socks, and bath water were things women started selling within the last decade to take advantage of like internet sales. I had no idea that this was a popular.
Oh, there was a
market
grace
all the way
here.
back in the
Wow.
90s.
There's
But
grace
anyway,
everywhere, I
Nasubi wins
forgot.
these panties. It's his only article of
This
clothing he's won
game
so
is
far,
big.
but they don't fit, unfortunately.
名前つけてあげないとね、かわいそうだね。そうだ。 ナスビのお友達でビーナス
ナスビ、ビーナ
As
ス
soon
連れ
as
て
I
初
get
め
down
て
here,
のお
she'll
散
stop
歩。
reading.
I found this one to be
It's one of those.
extraordinarily sad, so still around 2 months now. He's had no contact with any human beings aside from the delivery guy just dropping off his winnings. He wins a stuffed seal which he names Binasu and takes him for a
I'm
walk.
going in hot.
It's his only
I don't
source of
care.
companionship. That shit just breaks my heart to see. I'm not gonna lie.
すげえ肉だ5枚の肉
貧乏芸人の日常生活においてステーキの4文字なんて想像だにしなかった。
肉をボールペンに刺して炙り始めた。5分後。
The crazy part, it took so long to get up.
ナスビにとって最高級の食べ物。
I really wanted to get
今まさに食べようとする瞬間。
This is his first time winning a direct source of protein. Up until this point, his diet was mainly just the rice and like spaghetti. So he'd be getting trace amounts of protein, but never something like steak. His macros had to be so fucked from this, but he finally gets steak, and he cooks it by using a ballpoint pin to cook it over the direct flame, and he gets to eat it and is super happy about it. I'd also like to highlight something in that note he wrote. He said, in the life of a poor comedian, he's only used the word steak in his imagination. I think this is big because prior to this challenge, Nasubi wasn't a popular comedian in Japan. He wasn't well off or anything like that. This was his big break, which is why he was so excited to be part of the show. And then it gets tortured. It's so fucking cruel. Like, you can't help but feel absolutely horrible.
当たった。
電車で電車で電車で電車でガッ
さらに。
専用コントローラー付き
運転手はナスビ、車掌はビーナスってな風に。
加熱しないで食べるつもりだ。
うんじゃんじゃんいけるおいしいおいしい
We're both at the edge of a mountain, bro. Edge of a mountain, bro. Leave me alone.
He wins a PlayStation game as well as a special controller for it, but he doesn't have a PlayStation where he can play it on. He then also wins raw pork and raw crab and eats it raw because he didn't really have an efficient way of cooking those. And you can see a lot to the stuffed seal. This is very much like a Castaway situation with Wilson. When you're deprived of human
By the way,
contact for
Octopus
as long as
Games,
Nasubi has
whoever
been,
that is,
you start to try and
I don't make
find
any
ways to
money
be
off
social.
of this, bro.
Humans are social creatures by
I'm barely
nature,
60 subscribers
which is why
into
it's
this.
so torturous to be deprived of that. It's
If I could, if
fucking
people from
brutal.
TikTok could
It's
just
been right around
watch
3
my
months
YouTube,
by
but
this
like
point, and
people
he is not even halfway
addicted
done
to TikTok
the
for some reason.
million goal.
掃除機です
I already got
3ヶ月ぶりの掃除スタート。
fucking a strike from fucking TikTok because of my opinions. It was crazy. If I died, why?
まあ1は映んねえのかラップするよこれで
そのものとは。
歯ブラシと歯磨きのセットです
He's able to win a vacuum cleaner, which enables him to clean the room for the first time in 3 months, and then wins a TV, which would have been great because he'd finally have some source of entertainment, but unfortunately, since there was no antenna, it was useless because it would only play static. And he still didn't have a PlayStation to like play the PlayStation game that he won, so the TV was just a source of fucking white noise, I suppose. And then he finally gets something really, really useful, which is a toothbrush and toothpaste, which lets him brush his teeth for the first time in 3 months.
白衣を着た人現る。
I wonder what it could be.
全く問題ありません。
I honestly don't know,
ナスビさんは
but
健
every
康であ
time
ると
it's
認め
always
ま
this
す。
kind of boss, it's always run up and do this. Yeah, I should be able to obliterate this guy.
They actually had a doctor come in and check up on him. The staff wanted to make sure that he wasn't on the brink of death or that he hadn't contracted any like anything. They had a doctor come in, take his vitals, also did like a blood and urine test, so they claim. and gave him.
I'm now the Onyx Lord.
Now, assuming that that's all legitimate and not just, you know, theatrics for the television program, I would still say this doesn't take into account the actual torture this man is enduring. Like, even if his vitals are okay, he doesn't have a disease or any, like, big alarming health concerns. This is a man that has been deprived of sunlight, socialization, entertainment, and just basic human needs for 3 months by this point. So even if all of the blood work and all of that is within normal limits, this is a man who is still very much not okay. And to try and make it seem like, no, everything's great, Nasubi's happy, and this is a totally fine by-the-books thing, look, the doctor even says so, is even more scummy and shitty.
嫌なことに気づいてしまった。命の源お米が米袋の底に溜まってる程度になってしまった。
I'm trying to get a good view of this shit, bro. It's a giant
今日で
castle.
最後か。これが最後のお米です。はい、ドッグフードです。
すると
まずい。
ドッグフードでーす。
Somehow, the story keeps getting more tragic. The rice that he won on the 20th day was finally running out, and he was unable to win any more during this time. So, he resorted to eating dog food. And dog food became the primary thing that he was eating. It was like his main diet. So, he was surviving off dog food. And another thing that I've seen brought up a few times that I also question is the legitimacy of, like, what shows up. Because it would have been very easy for producers to intercept things that Nasubi had won if they were too helpful. Like, I find it very odd that the only thing Nasubi won in terms of clothing throughout all 15 months was a pair of panties. That seems so unrealistic. I really think there may have been foul play, and this is just a conspiracy, where the producers intercepted clothes in order to keep him naked for the sake of the comedy of the show.
Voice.
And I think that there could have been a lot of cases like that. There's also nothing that would have stopped them from sending things he didn't win, like dog food. He may have never, like, entered a dog food sweepstakes, and they could have sent it to him in order to further humiliate and torture him for the audience. There's just so much shit in here that is beyond cruel and unusual. Like, it blows my mind.
I gotta take a
that
picture of this shit. This shit funny as a motherfucker.
To a real human being.
神よ、我に生きる力を与えきる米です。
That shit funny.
Luckily, he was able to win rice 3 months later. He won 10 kilograms of rice about 3-ish months after mainly surviving off dog food, as well as a couple of other foods that he'd win here and there. But dog food for a while was like his primary source of nutrition. And then he finally gets rice again. Now, it's been about 6 months-ish, and he is finally halfway to the goal. In 6 months, he reaches the halfway point. According to Atrocity Guide, he has submitted 38,000 entries by this point. 38,000 sweepstakes entries in 6 months, and he is only halfway to the goal. Just when you thought it couldn't get more fucked up. So what happened here is this show was so popular,
I'm gonna
people
try
eventually
to get
found
down.
out where Nasubi was being held.
I wonder, are there any graces over there?
Reporters and everything that all were crowded
I'll
around
worry
the space,
about
so the
this whole
producers
area
moved
in a
him to an
bit. First, I
identical
want to make
space
sure
where no
there's
one would
nothing
know
up
where he
here or
was.
anything.
It was super far away. It was like 5 hours away, I believe. And this whole time, Nasubi thought, oh, I must have won. But it turns out he didn't.
Out of that wolf.
They were just moving him to continue the game in a different location. It looks like actual kidnapping, and to a certain extent it is. The entire time, Nasubi is kind of delirious. He hasn't talked to people in a long time. He even says his mind is clouded with anxiety, and he's saying things that don't make any sense. He's unable to really talk to people or talk around people in general. He's like completely lost that ability due to right around 6 months in total isolation.
しかしこの企画が放送されていることを知らないなすみにプロデューサーは
じゃあ私のためってことですねこれは。
Keep watching Moist
The
Critical.
team told Nasubi that he was moved to a new location for renewed luck, so better fortune at a new spot.
What was that?
Because they didn't want to tell him the real reason that they were relocating him, so they came up with that. And I'm pretty sure Nasubi doesn't believe them because he kind of laughs about it, saying, "Oh, so it's for my own benefit." I think he's very well aware now that this is a pretty fucking evil team of producers here, and whatever reason they had for moving him,
I'm gonna
probably
try to get the
wasn't for his own
18K.
benefit.
これはこれは椅子と机が当たったってことなのかなこれは。社長気分っていうのかね。
当選第1号国用のパーソナルデスク&チェア。
操作しづらいんですよね爪が邪魔でね。爪がこんなになっちゃってるからね。
His first win in the new location actually is a fucking fat one. He gets a new desk, a new chair. They're both relatively expensive too, so it's a great victory for him. And he shows his nails. The nail growth is outrageous. He hasn't been able to trim them in about 6 months now. Like, he is genuinely a prisoner here, and
Let's
it
get it.
shows.
Can I wear my armor now? Just at least just the pants, bro. Oh my, I can wear the pants. Can I wear the gloves? Let's get it. I got the full armor. Let's get it. That's some nice armor, bro.
I couldn't actually find a high quality clip showing how they censored the live stream or did the live broadcast, so this comes from Atrocity Guide as well.
Alright.
What they did is the producers had a whole team that was dedicated to following.
What I'm gonna do is go to the round table and customize my character.
Game with a sensor to keep his dick and balls off
I'm gonna block the screen for a bit for many reasons that people will never know.
Instead of just doing like the weekly Nasubi update with clips, they wanted 24/7 Nasubi coverage for anyone that wanted to go watch. So this was pretty innovative for its time. I think it's definitely one of the first like actual around-the-clock live streams that ever actually aired. It's pretty impressive.
ウィダーインゼリーが当たってかれこれ2週間当選がない。
ここまでね当たんないってもなかなか久しぶりの出来事でね。
車で移動。
I'm gonna connect my keyboard.
Whopper,
bro.
Double bacon, we can agree there's a Whopper for you. 200,000 ways, boom, there's
Bruh.
the proof.
Bro, Burger King got some fire ads, bro.
着いたところはちょっといいよナスビのあまりの運のなさに見かねたスタッフは当選運の上昇を願い2度目の引っ越しを決めたのだった
So Nasubi initially had a good string of luck at the new location. I believe, according to Atrocity Guide, he had done 17,000 entries and won decent stuff, but then hit a really bad cold streak, even ran out of food at one point, so the producers did move him again to another location to help him out in winning more prizes, I suppose, and it worked because he did win more prizes.
That's true. I'm gonna rename my character. I'm gonna do Arthur. It's coming out my ass.
He finally wins food again and really celebrates getting some potato chips, and he also gets a VHS player, which will be nice to go with the TV, assuming he ever wins a VHS tape to play it. But I think the most important thing he wins here is toilet paper. This is the first time he's had toilet paper in his entire stay. 10 months so far. And to celebrate, he tries to take a shit just out of frame, but was unable to. So an unsuccessful mission there, but at least he finally has toilet paper.
それは8ヶ月前のこと。6ヶ月前。
おー、来たよ。まずや。電車で Go!
Now this is by far the meatiest win he's gotten so far, a PlayStation. That's pretty expensive, especially during this time period, and it also enables him to have real entertainment for the first time in 10 months. This is like a moment that's straight out of like Civilization, where you climb up the tech tree slowly but surely. 8 months prior to this, he won a PlayStation 1 game, Cr1TiKaL, which also had the special controller to go with it. Couldn't play it, obviously, at the time. 6 months ago, he won a TV. So he had a PlayStation game, a controller, a TV, but no console. He finally got that last missing piece of the puzzle, the console, and is able to play PlayStation games now. Well, the single PlayStation game he's won. And what's really interesting about this is his first piece of actual entertainment he's had since being fucking imprisoned here. But also, and this was pointed out by Caleb, this would make him the world's first video game live streamer, because this is all being live streamed. All of this is a live broadcast, and he spent 4 straight days playing his PlayStation. So for 4 straight days, he was being streamed playing a game. This man was the patient zero of streaming. He walked so Twitch could run.
一心不乱で電車で GO に熱中するナスビ。電車で GO 3日目に突入。
金プレステでございます。
He played so much Cr1TiKaL that he had to ban himself from playing it further so he could focus on entering into more sweepstakes and getting closer to freedom. So he stopped playing the game, went back to writing entries, and he was able to do it. He pulled off the last remaining prizes he needed to reach that million yen mark.
一歩間違えてダイヤにしてくれてれば。
今回当たったタイヤが8万4000円。つまり現在の総額は96万9114円。
The tires put him extremely close to completing the challenge. He was right at the finish line here, so close he could throw the Cr1TiKaL disc right over the finish line. Only a couple more wins would secure this, and he was able to pull it off. The final item he won that put him over the million yen threshold was a bag of rice. But Nasubi didn't know he won. It had been 335 straight days of constant, non-stop, relentless filling out of sweepstakes in order to win these prizes. 335 days of torture, and Nasubi had finally reached the finish line, but didn't know it.
ゴールを祝いクラッカーで祝福。
100万になったってことですか？11ヶ月と1日前に抜かされた私の服ですね。
Per usual, the producers come in like a group of burglars during the night and start popping party poppers in his face, which scares the shit out of him and really confuses him. They eventually explain that he did win, he made 1 million yen, and they give him his clothes back. It's been 11 months and 1 day, and this is the first time Nasubi's putting clothes on in that entire time frame. So when he puts them on, he says that it's uncomfortable and itchy, but he's very, very, very happy to be done with the contest and glad that he's completed it. But that's not where this story ends. The producers took Nasubi to Korea, telling him it was a celebration for completing the game and for all of his hard work. So they went to an amusement park, he ate a lot of great food, he had a wonderful, incredible time, and then things got real fucked up.
そこは
脱いで。人は韓国の現象だけで生きていけるか。
Ethan.
Oh my god, this.
The world's coming after you.
Nasubi, 大ショック。
Nasubi was making them far too much money. The producers weren't done suckling from this cash cow's teat, so they trapped Nasubi in Korea. The goal this time wasn't 1 million yen. This time he was going to have to enter sweepstakes in Korea, which he didn't speak Korean, so he had to use a Korean to Japanese dictionary to translate. His goal was to enter the sweepstakes, win prizes enough to afford a plane ticket from Korea to Japan. That was the objective. He was stripped naked yet again and forced to endure the same torture that he had already endured for 335 days prior. I would like to make a mention here. There is a moment where the producer says, if you don't want to do this, just say so. To which Nasubi responds, I'll do it. So I don't think they had ever forced him against his will to complete these challenges, but he was pretty much promised fame after doing these things. So in the pursuit of Nasubi's big dreams, he allowed himself to be tortured mercilessly for 15 months.
こんなにいっぱいということは商品総額が47,800円ということはゴール46,900円突破検証生活 in Korea.
This time around, however, Nasubi went fucking plus ultra, straight up turbo mode. He had become a master at this shit. So he was actually able to complete this challenge in just about 2 months, which made the producers very upset because he didn't suffer long enough. So they increased the challenge duration. They moved the goalpost. Instead of just getting a one-way ticket from Korea to Japan in economy class, they required him to get an additional 9,000 yen in prize winnings to upgrade that ticket to business class.
エコノミークラスという一番安い料金。こんなに頑張ったのにエコノミークラスとはあんまりだ。そこでビジネスクラスにランクアップ。点まであと9,500円。頑張れナスビ。
Yeah, more scummy, evil shit from the producers here. They never even told him he initially completed the goal here. They just let him keep writing postcards until he'd gather another 9,000 yen. They didn't want him to win quickly. They didn't really want him to win at all because the longer he struggles and suffers, the more money they were making. So they let him just keep going and tried to spin it as a positive thing, like, look at how hard Nasubi's working. We're not going to let him fly in economy class. So the new goal is business class because it's what Nasubi would want. Just genuinely fucked shit.
頑張ったってこんなお茶2袋じゃよ。
4,000円ということは商品総額は61,800円ということ。ファーストクラスにランクアップということはゴールの金額もランクアップ。
Nasubi easily gathered the remaining 9,500 yen after winning some expensive tea leaves, so he was absolutely slapping the producer's bottoms, like he was going hog wild right now. So again, they increased the goal without ever telling him. Now, business class wasn't good enough. Now it was going to have to be a first class ticket, which was an additional 20,000 yen, I believe, which again, was pretty quick for Nasubi to gather. He won a live octopus, a big picture frame, and was able to gather enough money through prizes pretty quickly to get that final rank up to first class passenger. And then he finally gets the ticket from Korea to Japan in first class, and it's over.
そしてプロデューサーに連れられたナスビ登場。もちろんアイマスクにヘッドホン。ナスビは驚くべき行動に出る。別にまだかかる。なんと脱ぎ始めた。
せーの。
That's the most fucking. That sucks.
But the story wouldn't be complete without one more final act of cruelty towards Nasubi. They blindfold him, put noise-canceling headphones on him, disorient him, and drag him on stage into a mock room designed to look like the rooms that he'd been staying in for the last 15 months. So out of pure instinct, he gets completely nude again. It's the only life he knows, so without ever being told to take his clothes off, he does it anyway. And then the walls break away, revealing a live studio audience laughing at him and congratulating him for completing the show. Nasubi is understandably confused because for 15 months he has been psychologically and physically tortured. So he doesn't understand what's happening, he doesn't get it, and is shocked, scared, and all around bewildered. It's just one more sick fucking joke from the producers. Millions of people watching the finale, as well as thousands in person watching him, completely naked and completely having no idea what's going on or why. The life of prizes was finally complete, and the entire show, Susanoo Denpa Shonen, was cancelled pretty shortly after. It didn't have like a super long run after this. But the toll that this experience took on Nasubi's life obviously didn't stop with the finale. He reported being uncomfortable in clothes for about 6 months afterwards, and his social skills had obviously deteriorated. He said he was a lot more shy and not really able to be a comedian super well anymore because obviously he had been cut off for so long from people. He just kind of lost the ability to carry on conversations efficiently and overall just became a lot more reserved as a result of this. He did, however, sell his diary, the Nasubi Life of Prizes diary, like his journal, and that was a bestseller. That was a massive success. But he himself never achieved that level of fame that he was kind of promised with a show like this. He did have certain roles in other productions, and some of them pretty sizable roles in other productions, but never a massive success in Japan, even though this is like the most successful live stream in Japan's history. So just an overall extremely sad and cruel story. The main producer behind this show has gone on record and said he doesn't regret anything. He said his goal is to make miracles on film, and with Nasubi, he accomplished that goal. He did apologize to Nasubi, and Nasubi confirms that the producer did apologize to him, but the apology only does fuck all. Like, that doesn't make up for 15 months of lost human contact and health. You know, like, that's a nothing burger. But I guess at least he apologized, even though he made millions of dollars off the back of Nasubi's suffering. But anyway, I wanted to share this story because I find it to be one of the most interesting ones when it comes to like live broadcast television as well as live streaming. This is one of the first live streams, and it was fucking bizarre. Extremely fucked up story. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with all of you. Thank you to Caleb and Chelsea for compiling a bunch of clips here, so that way we could tell the story as best as possible.
Next.
If I was to ever do a tier list of creepy guys on the internet, the guy I'm about to show you would be the undeniable, top tier, triple S, super smokin' style creep god. The individual you're about to see almost makes that guy that was sending pig carcasses to the coworker he loved seem sane. I know I've called one other person in a video the creepiest guy ever, but the man I'm about to show you today, I think is far more disturbed, so much so that I'm actually somewhat concerned for the safety of the people around him. I'm sure you've seen this video floating around right now because it's going viral, and for good reason. It is scary.
The Cracker Barrel, and I was going to play a song for a woman that I kind of like, and I got there, and she saw me, and she immediately pulled away, and I wasn't forcing her to listen or anything, you know, I just wanted to play the song for her. You know, give her her own choice if she wanted to be with me.
Now, I'll quickly bring you up to speed on what's happening right now with the lore. So, the cops are there because the guy called them, I believe. So he's a Kaioken times 10 weirdo. He called the cops because he wanted to report this girl's dad, a girl that he chased around while playing his music to try and win her love. And his music is downright horrifying. It sounds like 5 trash cans being violently slammed together while someone's getting murdered in an alleyway for the vocals. I have been so deep in this rabbit hole learning about this man. It's been like an episode of Mike Rowe's Dirty Jobs just gathering all this information. I'm gonna play you just a quick snippet from one of his tracks.
Fire sprout to the moon to the top and grow! Elements coming together now! Whoa! Feel the rap!
The voice of an angel. I can't believe this plan didn't work. It's so romantic it sounds straight out of a Disney film. He also keeps saying he was giving her a choice to listen to his music and fall in love with him. Even though there's no choice here because he was stalking her and chasing her, playing this over his fucking boombox, I guess. But anyway, she was so frightened that she ended up calling her dad, and her dad got in contact with him and said some mean things to him. So the guy then called the cops on the dad, hoping to like get him arrested or file something against him.
You know?
Does she know you?
Yeah, I worked with her there for like 5-6 months.
Did y'all have a relationship?
No, we were talking a little bit, but it never really got serious. But anyways, I pulled up there, and I was in the other parking lot, and I saw her get in her car, and I was like, oh shoot, it's my moment. So I pulled up there next to her, and she pulled away from me, and so I chased her a little bit, just because, I don't know, women are crazy. Like, I felt like she like wanted me to chase her.
Do you not think chasing somebody's crazy?
Well, it's just like, I only went like a couple blocks down the street.
God, it's so sad that women can't appreciate a good, nice guy like this. Women are so weird. How can they not appreciate a complete psychopath chasing them around for a few blocks while blaring music that sounds like the soundtrack to a slaughterhouse?
Hey, don't you think chasing somebody's crazy when they obviously don't want to?
Well, I had my song playing, and I wanted to like her to hear it, maybe.
Well, apparently she don't want to hear it, right? So what else happened? Let's get on with this.
His complete lack of remorse and disconnection from reality is startling. Oh no, it's not weird, like I'm not weird. Why are you trying to say that I'm the crazy one for chasing her? I had my song playing. Oh, did I forget to mention that? My song was playing, so now everything's justified. Like, I wanted her to hear it so she'd have a choice to fall in love with me, obviously.
Her father called me up, and he made some threats to me and to my life.
Okay.
And so I just want to have his name on file.
What did he say to you?
I think he said he's gonna stab me, like, but he's like cussing at me.
He said that, or he did say that?
He says, I'm gonna do something to you. I swear I'd do something to you.
For chasing your daughter?
Yeah, but it wasn't chasing. It was like going down a couple streets. Like, that's like fun to women. Like, women like that. A little bit of excitement.
No, I don't.
Fucking unhinged logic. No, I wasn't chasing her. It was like minor stalking, you know, that's nothing. Women love to be stalked. Like, it's fun to them. It's exciting. God, what an absolute lunatic. So yeah, the dad calls, apparently made threats against him because I'm assuming his daughter called him in a panic, like, holy shit, this guy's coming after me, and I'm fucking horrified. So the dad is trying his best to, like, stop anything bad from happening, so I'm sure the dad in this, like, passionate moment's like, leave her the fuck alone.
What am I doing?
Or I'm gonna do something about it. I'll give you a knuckle sandwich. Why I oughta. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. To try and protect his daughter, keep her safe, doing what he can from a distance. Like, get the fuck away from her, you creep.
Well,
Women don't like to be chased.
What about like
If I was a
porn?
father, I'd probably tell you the same thing.
What about like BDSM porn, where women like to have rape fantasies?
Well, apparently this girl does.
What the fuck?
Who knows? Most women do like having rape fantasies.
No,
It
they
took us
don't,
only
bro.
about a minute for him to start mentioning rape after talking about stalking and, you know, downplaying how stalking's not a big deal. Immediately brings it to BDSM and rape fantasies. From fucking out of nowhere. Oh, you're gonna call me crazy for chasing her? Well, what about rape? You know, there's the rape fantasies in porn, what about that, And then he has the gall, the chutzpah to say most women have a rape fantasy. It's blowing my mind here, this guy's thought process. It's fucking crazy. I'm also 100% sure he's never had an actual conversation with a woman. When he mentioned at the beginning they were kind of talking, I imagine it's because they were coworkers, and she said, like, hi to him occasionally, or, like, while they were working, were like, hey, need to do this. And that, to him, was, like, meaningful interaction with a human female. This is, like, a scary individual. His brain immediately jumps to rape when confronted with his actions.
Okay, do you think she does?
I don't know, but
Apparently she does.
well,
So what do you want us to do?
well, I just want you to get his name on file, just in case he does do anything
Do
to
you
me.
know his name?
I know his daughter's name.
What do you know his name?
I know her name. I don't know his name. He called me from a restricted phone number.
Okay. Here's my suggestion. Leave her alone.
A great suggestion from the officer here. Superb. Just get the fuck away from her. Leave her alone. Solves all the issues here. Case closed. Didn't even need Dr. Phil on this one to get to the bottom of it. The solution was obvious. Just get away from her.
Well, this is one song I made, and this was the final chance I was going to have.
Here's my chance. Here's my advice. It's over. Leave her alone.
Okay.
Fathers will hurt you over their daughters.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is she needs to have her own free will, man. You gotta understand, I'm a man myself, bro, and I have needs myself.
She's choosing her free will by telling her daddy what happened to you, and I'm telling you, stay away from her because he will hurt you probably.
She's being controlled by him.
For some reason, he's so delusional, he keeps thinking that she doesn't have her own authority to make her own choices, yet keeps saying she needs her own free will. She had her own free will by running away from you, by like being scared of you, running away, and then telling her dad that is her making choices to try and protect herself from you, because you are the threat. You're the fucking danger that's knocking on her door, and she is responding with her own free will of getting the fuck away from you as fast and efficiently as possible. It's just such a scary thought process because in his mind, he's totally justified in everything that happens here, and it's all normal to him. And the fact that she's not in love with him right now, not in his arms, in his bed, is because her dad is forcing her to make choices to split the two apart. It's not her making those choices because he's perfect. The guy with his music, his mixtape that sounds like 5 fucking squirrels being blown to pieces, he thinks his music's the best and he's the best man in the world, so there's no way she is choosing on her own free will to not be with him. That is a dangerous thought process.
That's fine. That's her choice, right? Free
Well,
choice, free will.
I think she should go do porn.
Okay, you need to leave.
The
It's legal.
fuck?
You need to leave. We're not doing anything.
Nah, bro, that shit
I'm
fucked up.
having discussion on
I'm having a discussion. Tell you to leave.
I actually appreciate how the officer handles this situation here. He's not giving this guy an inch. He is fighting him on every point he tries to make. Not that any of his points have any logical basis whatsoever or any sound reasoning, but I like that the officer's pushing back on everything, and he crosses a line when he says she should do porn. Where does that even come from? Like, everything this guy is saying is a giant red flag, and he needs legitimate help.
I was gonna let her make her own choice after the song.
Well, she's made her choice.
And I just don't think she had a reasonable opportunity to make a choice, because I'm gonna blow up, and I'm gonna be a famous DJ, and I'm gonna be like...
How old is she?
He still really believes that because she didn't finish listening to his song, she didn't have the right to say no. She didn't have reasonable basis for declining and rejecting him, I suppose. He believes he's gonna blow up and be a famous DJ or this and that, thus she's making a huge mistake and needs to reconsider the choice, and her dad's making her choose this. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh shit. You know what? Lindsay's dad, I hope you see this fucking video.
Now, just like in The Dark Knight, we have the Joker turning the camera on himself here, and we get to take a look at him. And he really still believes everything he's done is justified, and that the girl and her dad are the villains here.
You know what happens when women don't ever, you know, come to terms with themselves? Bad shit happens. I don't know. Something, the cops want to deny.
And this right here I think should be taken very seriously. This is not a mentally well person, and this comes across as an actual threat against the safety of both the girl and her father here. He's already shown that he has no problem stalking women, and I really think this needs to be looked at seriously to make sure that he's not in a position to do harm to anyone around him. It's just very concerning.
Me trying to get her to be straight.
Bro, that's crazy.
Something is wrong about that. I don't see
crazy,
why
dude.
these traditional ass motherfuckers think they can speak shit whenever it's this woke belligerent LGBT shit that has her right now. I just don't see it. I'm older than her fucking father. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, this rant's really going off the fucking rails. So apparently the girl isn't interested in men, and his plan was to make her interested in men by giving her his love as well as letting her listen to his songs. And when she still wasn't interested, she blames the dad. Like, the dad is the one that's made his daughter not like him, and then says that he is older than her dad. Like, it's so fucking wild. But it is all very concerning to listen to. I just wanted to share this because I do think this is the creepiest guy I've seen online so far, and I truly hope that everyone involved here is safe, and hopefully this guy gets the help that he very much needs. Anyway, that's about it.
My character, boys. Alright, now let's look at this one. Alright, let's
A
look
few
at the
months
face.
ago, I watched what had to be one of the wildest encounters I've ever seen.
Nah!
This is a vigilante predator hunter group
Nah,
that
bro, I'm
was
crazy.
busting the person
That's
they were
crazy.
investigating
Nah,
in
for real,
public.
nah, that's not my
And
character.
this goes completely Insano style. It becomes cartoonish. It's almost like a Benny Hill chase scene here. I couldn't believe what was unfolding in front of me.
I am currently looking for my fiber.
Your what?
Fiber.
Fiber?
Yeah, because I gotta poop.
You gotta poop?
I'm constipated. I've been constipated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is a very interesting tactic. This is a high-level maneuver. He is claiming that he's not there at the meat spot for a 13-year-old boy. He's there to get some fiber so he can take a shit. He's been constipated, so he's there for some poop pills. And it doesn't take some galaxy brain genius to put together the puzzle pieces here, connect the dots, and deduce that he is on meth. He's getting loopy off that poopy right now. He is high on meth, which isn't just speculation. At the end of the video, they released their entire investigation screenshots of all the text messages that were exchanged between this guy and who he thought was a 13-year-old. And meth comes up a lot, even right before meeting.
Those are the straightest eyes ever, bro.
And as you can see in the title, he was arrested, and they did.
Okay, maybe 130 is better than 127.
Hey man, I can involve the police, or we can have a conversation. You want to have a conversation? Do you want to turn around and talk to me?
I gotta find this first.
Hey bro, I can call the cops right now, or we can just have a conversation.
I'm actually really constipated, sir. Please, can you actually let me get my supplements so I can actually go home, so I can poop, and actually so I can poop well?
Step 1 should have been involving the authorities the second you found a real pedophile that was trying to meet up for sex with a 13-year-old and like get them smoking meth or whatever. I don't understand why that wasn't the first thing you did. Luckily, there's spoilers in the title, so you know he does get arrested, but not for the reasons of this investigation. Some crazy shit happens towards the end. Had he involved law enforcement earlier, even from the start, I feel like this could have been far more effective. It seems like the first thing he did when he identified a real pedophile was try and figure out how to monetize it and make a viral video out of it or something. Because he gets like 2 different cameras out. He's got like the fucking Steadicam.
Bro, it looks like Leonardo
he's got
DiCaprio.
so many cameras set up. He's got like the GTA cinematic angle going on here. So it really feels like the #1 concern was trying to figure out a way to monetize it. He also has like calls to action in the video to subscribe to his channel. He's got the People vs. Pred watermark. This shit is branded out of the wazoo. So it does really feel like the #1 thing he was looking for here was a way of making money off of the bust, which is kind of weird. It is still good that this does lead to an arrest, but I really do wish it was handled with collaboration from the actual authorities.
Can you help me find
Do you want me to
fiber
call-
pills?
do
Can
you
you help
want
me
me to
find
call-
fiber pills?
Do you want me to
for
call the
Let me go
cops?
back
Why
to
would you
my
want to call the cops
regular
for me when I'm trying to find my
graphics.
fiber
I know
pills?
why you're here.
Why am I
to
here?
meet my 13-year-old little brother.
Who is that? I don't know who that is. Who is that? I have no clue.
Christ, where are they hiding the fiber pills in this bitch? Like, goodness gracious, are they underground? This man's out here trying to locate fiber pills, and it's like trying to find pirates' buried treasure,
Golden eyes
apparently.
or silver eyes, bro. This is
But anyway,
silver.
you can see he's really starting to tweak quite a bit now. Things are getting escalated. The man filming is starting to call the cops, which is something I feel he should have done quite a long time ago. But we're only just beginning.
Hey buddy, is this you?
Can you please
Why do I have a picture of you? Is this
Why
you?
are you doing this to me?
Is this you? Is this a picture of you?
What's the method?
Why do I have a picture of you?
Huh, what's this? What is it?
Why do I have a picture of you?
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Why do I have a
Please do not
picture?
touch me.
Why do I have a picture of your?
Ew, 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 ew.
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for and to give him crystal meth.
Oh my god.
Negotiations crumble, diplomacy falls, and then things really pop the fuck off. So he shows him that he has a picture of this guy's asshole, and then we enter like the DPS check of the raid boss encounter here. So now he's chasing the pedophile around while shouting he's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for sex. The predators start shouting. Everyone in the shopping center is confused and maybe even a little frightened from this sudden explosion of yelling and all of that. And we also get close-ups of the meth molester's head, and it seems like he has a lot of dandruff. Not that that has anything to do with anything at all, it just struck me as, wow, that's a lot of dandruff. So he might want to pick up a bottle of Head & Shoulders on his way back to the poopy pill aisle.
This guy right here is here to meet a 13-year-old boy and to give him crystal meth.
I'm trying to find you. Do you know where the fiber pills are?
Call the cops. This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for. Don't touch me. Sir, don't touch me.
Why? Stop.
Don't touch me and don't put your hands in front of my camera, bro.
Stop.
Who the f are you? Stop.
The cameraman here is really coming across like a combative asshole. Obviously, the store employee doesn't know the situation. He's not fucking omniscient. All he sees is two people screaming in his store while one of them has multiple cameras set up like he's out here trying to film a 360-degree music video. So he's just trying to get in the middle of this and like, hey, can you de-escalate it? You know, take it anywhere else. And for some reason, the Predator Buster is now starting to get mad at this guy who's just doing his fucking job. Like, he's done nothing wrong. He doesn't know what's happening here. He's just trying to de-escalate the situation.
This guy's here to meet a 13-year-old boy for. Get in front of my camera again, bro.
Because you're not.
Get in front of my camera again.
You don't have permission to film your camera here.
Who the f are you?
This is.
Who are you?
You need to leave.
Hey, buddy. Get
Good
the
joke,
f
bitch.
out of my way. Get the f out of my way. No, call the cops.
This guy seems like he was closer to fighting the store employee just doing his job than he was to fighting the actual pedophile that he was there to bust. This shit is crazy.
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
What I do is I just get.
Then leave. Go home.
You can't let me buy my fiber pills.
Oh, your fiber pills?
Where's the fiber?
Just when you thought it was starting to wrap itself up, this fucking guy goes back looking for fiber pills. He goes back to the fucking fiber pill aisle and keeps the whole song and dance going. We're in Act 2 now. It is incomprehensible the shit that is unfolding here. I can't believe that this actually is a real thing that happened and isn't some like staged, scripted fucking piece of, I don't know, fiction. It's unbelievable.
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Why are you here to harass me?
Why are you here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Are you trying to prevent me? No, I'm gonna stop.
I'm a weirdo? Why do I have a picture of his asshole if I'm a weirdo? Why do I have a picture of his face? Look at it. Why do I have a picture of his face if I'm the weirdo?
Some of the other people around him start calling him a weirdo, the guy filming, to which he takes great offense. So he goes over to prove that he's not weird. So he goes and says, if I'm a weirdo, why do I have a picture of his asshole? Checkmate. Regular old Saul Goodman over here defending himself. I can't be weird. I have a picture of his butthole right here. Look at this. He takes his phone around like it's show and tell. He passes it around saying, hey, look, I'm not weird. Look, this is his anus. I don't know what the strategy is there. He could have easily explained, I'm conducting an investigation. This guy was trying to meet up with my 13-year-old brother. That's a lot more easy to understand than like, hey, I'm not weird. This is this guy's ass. Like, I don't know what the thought process was. I think he was so lost and deep in fight mode that he was just trying to like get aggressive with everybody, even just completely innocent people that didn't understand what was happening.
Trying to meet up a little kid from the internet?
Crackheads.
I saw a comment that perfectly described
Damn,
how
bro, I
this
thought I could jump
part
that
of the
shit.
Parking lot plays out. They said he's acting like he's the 13-year-old boy running away from a pedophile. And that is so accurate. He's running around like
Alright, I'm not going through
hysterically
this area because people say it's
screaming
hard,
and
so I'm
just
gonna go
going
through
absolutely ballistic. He
K-lid first.
runs in a circle and then even lays on the ground for a little bit, kind of wiggling around.
Can I just go poop? Ah! Ah!
No, that's crazy. Get this dude. Get this dude.
Oh my god, it gets even better!
Right?
The pedophile is high on meth and operating a vehicle, and it goes about as you'd expect. He immediately peels out and fucking blasts himself like right over like a small little tree and some bushes. It really looked like it was about to take
Yeah, I
flight.
got a
That was
foot
some
dragon.
shit out of Need for Speed, honestly. Like, god damn.
Oh my god! Whoa, hit and run, call the police! Call the police!
Immediately after vaporizing a tree and destroying that
So
like, area of
vaporizing a
bushes,
tree.
he peels out once again and manages to hit one of only 2 potential obstacles in the entire fucking parking lot. Someone else's car. He goes by and hits someone else's car. There is literally only 2 cars in this entire fucking parking lot. It is actually more impressive that he managed to hit something. Like, I don't even fathom how he could have fucked up even worse. It's unbelievable.
Just call the police, guys. I got the tags. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police. Call the cops, bro. I got the video. You don't need the video. Just call the cops. Tackle is down.
I always hate that fucking mentality. Hey, someone else call the police. I'm busy recording. No. I'm recording, so someone else call the police to handle this. There's only a handful of situations where that makes any sense, and that's when there's already a large group there. Then having a video of the situation can be helpful to the overall thing. So you could have one person video while someone else is calling the authorities, but in this case it was just him for the entire thing right up until the very end. He should have been the one to call the police, but didn't. And the Predator makes another inexplicable decision. Instead of leaving, he instead pulls up to the front of the store he just ran away screaming from and parks it. He just drops that shit right in front of the store he just left, and then gets out to try and run back into the store, which I don't understand at all. He's treating it like this was some kind of safe zone or something. And as he gets out of the car and tries to run back in the store, he gets tackled by a good Samaritan who had just seen the hit and run and everything that unfolded in the parking lot. So he gets tackled by that guy, and it's like a Goldberg spear. That is a great form textbook tackle. And then the cops do show up to arrest him.
Chest.
The cops go through his things, they find a pipe, they find a lot of stuff, they arrest him for the driving, DUI. They don't seem super interested in the predator catcher's investigation and what he's talking about. They don't really pay too much attention to that. Instead, they arrest him for, of course, the way he was driving the vehicle. Now, I've mentioned this numerous times over the years. I'm not really a fan of vigilante predator hunters for the simple reason that 9 times out of 10 the pedophiles that get caught in these operations don't face any real repercussions other than like a video being made about them. But law enforcement can't use the investigation because they're less than professional, meaning the predator doesn't spend any time in the slammer, they don't go to jail, which allows them to continue preying on children in their communities. Now, I do think there are extenuating circumstances, like for example, EDP. EDP may have not gone to jail, but that video that was made about him by the, fucking Gotham Knights of Predator Catchers did a great service to the whole community because it exposed him for abusing his platform, trying to meet up with children, and even if he didn't go to jail, it still took away his access to more potential victims. So overall, it was a positive thing, though ideal outcome would have been him also going to jail. In this case, the video we just watched, this predator probably would have never went to jail had he not operated the vehicle while high on meth and caused a massive commotion there and hitting multiple things. Had he not been driving that recklessly and high, he probably would have never seen any jail time for the investigation conducted by this channel. So it's just one of those things where, yes, it is good to expose the predators, but I really wish it was handled in collaboration with law enforcement, so that way not only would they be exposed publicly, they would also face the jail time associated with the crime. But yeah, anyway, this video was wild, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit today. That's about it. See ya.
These are all like a year ago videos, bro, but they're funny as hell.
Enlisted is the free, brand new online World War II shooter. Command a squad of soldiers and participate in legendary battles of the Second World War. Right now, you can join the
I'm sure by now many of you have at least heard of the EDP 445 situation. That sounds like some kind of fucking Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg, but for those that don't know, EDP 445 stands for Eat That Pussy. He was a big YouTuber. He had a huge online presence, and this week he was accused, and with a lot of evidence backing it, of being a pedophile, and with video evidence, him showing up to a meeting place where he believed he was meeting with a 13-year-old that was actually set up in very similar style to like a Chris Hansen investigation by a YouTuber, Predator Poachers. That name actually is shared by other people who hunt predators, but today this was done by one person or one group in particular, and that person, the big face behind it, is not a good person at all. And that's why I wanted to do this little intro here, because I want to make it clear that there's no heroes in this story. You can't root for the person behind the investigation of EDP. They did a good thing, but they're a shit person. The main guy behind Predator Poacher has had a lot come out about him recently, showing his prank calls to a BLM hotline where he just says the N-word. He said the N-word, hard R, multiple times. He believes he's like an edgy troll, but his trolling is just saying the N-word. Epic prank, and he's just not someone that I can really
invisible
appreciate the work of. But he and his group were the ones that broke this story on EDP, who is a very bad person as well, who, with all of this evidence coming forward, which is pretty damning, have put together this whole case against EDP 445. And today I watched it all on Twitch, streamed it with the community, so
bro, I saw you walking up on my ass, bitch.
I've heard it's really bad. So yeah, the general gist of it, EDP 445, a huge YouTuber, very popular YouTuber. I personally wasn't super familiar with his work. I'd always heard his name though. Stands for Eat the Pussy 445. So this came out a day ago, which was to hype this up. I think this is only reading text messages, and this is when he actually showed up. This is the only thing I've seen. This guy has a fucked up past. Like, even on this channel, apparently some videos that are still up from streams where he'd call BLM and drop the N-word to them or something. Like, he'd call organizations supporting BLM and just start dropping the N-word or some shit. Like, this guy is not a good guy.
So, everybody go subscribe right now. Go subscribe. And, if you want to see the full chat message...
I'm sorry to interrupt again. Another thing, the reason this video took so long for them to put out
really went all the way back.
is because he wanted to wait for it to get full monetization. So that's why he kept hyping it up, and the reason why he kept pushing it back, because it wouldn't get full ads on it. So this guy's kind of a real piece of shit, if I'm being honest. Like, he does a good thing in the worst possible way.
And show interest.
Who starts a conversation like that? What? Dropped a mean ass shit. Man, they say fucking chivalry is dead. This guy is suave. Now that is how you flirt. That's a good line for Tinder, I'd say. If you guys need any help on like your game, take notes from EDP. Dropped a mean ass shit. And then send an audio message. Do I have to go to the other ones in order to... He sent a picture of his shit? No fucking... Alright. Does this... We're gonna have to keep going back and forth. This is gonna be like an MLA formatted fucking research paper here with citations. For these text messages, if I want to see them uncensored, do I have to go to this stream?
So one of them is
so
a
do I have to like
bullshit.
cross-reference the uncensored versions with the,
this one's gonna be
stream
fucking
here?
easy.
I can't show a picture of literal shit on Twitch, but I need to confirm whether or not he sent a shit pic. That's very bold. Just ordered some pizza, about to fuck this shit up. Pizza sounds good. Hell yeah, I'm about to annihilate that shit. Okay. Oh! He sent a picture of his shit! Dropped a mean ass shit, and it's a full loaf. This man, he's sending shit pics. And that is not a healthy shit. That's very runny. There's no solid foundation of the stool. That is alarming considering he just annihilated a pepperoni chicken pizza. He also sent his dick. Yeah, but that's not nearly as cool as a shit pic. EDP was breaking new grounds. They were only just starting to talk. It had been 2 days, I think. And then he hits her with, drop a mean ass shit, and then sends a picture of his toilet bowl with poopy in it. Yeah, I'd show the other video, but I'm worried of how many pictures of shit he might have sent. Like, what the fuck is this? Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Good, just having lunch. What did you eat? Tacos. That's cool, what are you doing? Just got done beating my shit. Now watching YouTube. Ah, yeah, I just had some tacos. Also just beat the fuck out of
Bro, there's like nowhere to run. I'm being chased by
He
skulls.
sent a picture of his actual unedited shit. He didn't even put like a cute little emoji.
I don't know how to
So I'm a
fucking
little
fight
concerned
this
to show it.
game. I'll figure it
I
out.
think we're right here. How is this possible? I just went to a random point in here. How is the bathroom trip going? Going great. I'm fucking this bitch up. Are you sure he only sends one shit pic? Like, it seems like that's all they talked about was him shitting. I went a little too far. I skipped ahead in the lore. I was at 14.
In the lore, bro.
I accidentally spoiled chapter 2 here, it seems. I like this part. Relax, I'm not a weirdo or anything. When literally 5 days ago he sent a picture of his actual shit in a toilet. No, we're doing both videos. The only reason I'm going back and forth is because these are censored and I want to understand how we got it. Oh, he seems bothered that she's 13, but then for some reason continues to talk. Oh, okay, here we go. So he has like a realization here. Not enough to go to jail over. Okay. So how does he continue to like fall for this then? I was eating a corn dog today and the bitch burned the roof of my mouth. I spit that shit out so fast. Alright. Just a little PSA, don't take pictures like this. These kind of pics just never really work. It's just kind of a weird pic. Make sure you get some good flattering angles. You don't need to put like a ton of thought into it, but just enough to know where it doesn't look like you're crawling under someone's bed. Where are you ticklish? On my back and stomach. If you ever want something from me, and you want it, the easiest way would be to tickle me.
Bro, I keep dying instantly to these fags.
I hope you don't tickle me, that's my weakness. If EDP was a boss battle, tickling would be his weak spot. That'd be your DPS phase. One of these days, I'm gonna surprise you, put my hands over your eyes and be like, guess who? That's like the worst surprise ever. That'd be like the last way I'd want to be introduced to somebody. Ugh, this is so fucking weird. Want your first kiss to be enjoyable.
Nah,
This really does remind me of To Catch a Predator, like the chat logs that they'd show. So he was like super into nibbling on her ear and
bro, it was a fucking
being
yacht.
tickled and shit. Started talking about sex, and then here he had a realization like that's fucking illegal and wrong and bad. And now we're caught up. No, we're not. Oh my god, still not it.
The drone age has begun in the large-scale military online action game War Thunder. Experience complete.
He had a realization like that's fucking illegal and wrong and bad. And now we're caught up. No, we're not. Oh my god, this is still not it. Cute little fingers. Oh, how did this? Okay, how did this happen?
I'm trying to scratch my eye, bro.
Literally, like 5 sentences, or not 5, like 10 messages ago. He's like, "This is bad. Can't do it. We can be friends. Cute fingers, by the way. Do you want to have sex? I can go easy, of course. Nah, EDP doesn't go easy. He goes ultra nightmare mode. There's no slowing down there. Man's just a fucking machine. I honestly enjoy doing what my YouTube name says. Eating the pussy. Yeah.
That's a weak dick.
Munching down on those beef curtains, baby. Yeah, there you go, EDP. What's the 445? It's the random number I chose, nothing to the meaning. Definitely has meaning now. I think the 445 absolutely has meaning. The amount of years he'll spend in jail. Well, probably not. You guys, I didn't know this. I learned this the other day. You guys remember Jared Fogle, the guy who had like 15 quadrillion bytes worth of child porn on his computer, as well as like openly admitting to abusing kids? You know he only got 13 years in jail? Did you know that? I thought he got life imprisonment. This man had so much child porn they had to invent a new way of measuring how much he had. And he only got 13 years in jail. This had to be like a full-time job texting this guy. Putting in 9 to 5 hours here on the text messenger. Can't wait to hug you and kiss you. On the lips. On the cheek. On the neck. And I'd kiss and taste you down there. The vagina. The old vagina. Man, EDP really does just have a way with words. I love to kiss and lick the top of the foot. I love the toes, actually. Huh. So I can lick and suck your boobs. Pretty incredible. How does it feel? Pretty incredible, to be honest. The nipples get hard and really sensitive. I'm telling you, this is a lie. EDP went full fanfic here. He didn't fuck a school teacher. He didn't suckle on her nipples. This doesn't sound like anything a school teacher would say. I'm gonna know more about EDP's fucking life than his therapist does. There's so many text messages.
I guess that counts as a
virgin, the
parody.
vagina is tight. Oh, here we go. Getting a health ed course from EDP, the man who just sent a picture of his shit. Basically, when intercourse happens, the penis is stretching open the vagina and forcing those muscles to temporarily stretch apart from one another. That's where the pain comes from. Ah, yes. She should have quizzed him. And what exactly does the potassium pump do in the body, EDP?
You guys should have.
Very knowledgeable on anatomy and physiology. Complete my homework? You used the wrong form of your, EDP. Some teacher you are. Your body is full of excitement and anticipation. You're wrong, you're again. Your body, I'd anticipating the sex. Poetic. Shakespearean, in fact. I also like roleplay. Hey, that's where you dress up and pretend to be Chris Hansen arresting me.
Nah,
bro. Big fetish. Babe, 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 babe. My cute ass little baby girl. How many days have passed since he said, we can only be friends. This is illegal. This is bad. This will fuck me up if it ever got out. I can't do this. And then he immediately goes into, babe, 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 let me suckle your nipples. Man, he really knows what to say. I ran out of toilet paper while taking a shit at the auntie's house. Hey, now I'm starting to get a little hot and bothered if I'm being honest. This guy's just smooth. The amount of times he's told me about his shits that he's taken, sent me a picture of his shit. How can I not start to fall in love, you know what I mean? Such a sassy little shit. I love it. Come to your house, climb through your window, and kiss your cute ass passionately. That's the only solution. Alright, climbing in like the tooth fairy, but instead of leaving money under the pillow, he leaves a little kiss. A little nibble on the ear. Maybe suckle on the toes a bit. Whoa, what the fuck? Handcuff you, throw you in the back of my car, and bring you back to my dungeon.
Bruh, his fun
got really intense super quick. What's brewing? If I'm being honest, it's that I can't wait to feel how tight your vagina is. Cock is really hard.
Bro.
That's how it gets when guys get horny. He's really gone in hard now. He's fucking firing in the turbo boosters here. Before it was like, oh, I can't wait to just put my hands over your eyes and say, hello, surprise. Right into, fucking how tight is that pussy? My rock hard dick is about to burst. Ugh, you even have me jerking off. Damn you. He's shaking his fist in the air while he's jerking off, and oh, damn you! Fuck!
That shit funny.
Why have you done this? Oh, okay, hold on. I just read that. Let me just make sure there's nothing there. Hold on. I'm not taking any chances here. Oh, he actually sent his cock. Oh, God. What is happening? He's going wild in the text messages now. Fuck! He's busted nuts twice in a single text string? Lord! I'm gonna come. I'm gonna send it on Instagram. It's not letting me send videos here. What the fuck? That's cum, babe. I hope he like came into a glass or something, or like a petri dish and stirs it around like a whole lesson. Ah, but damn, this is spleen, also known as semen, many other names. Basically, whenever it feels so good to the point where I can't take it anymore, that's what happens. Yes, the milk, the cream. Holy shit. You weren't kidding. This is really like fucking bad. And then the fact that he actually shows up, this is actually horrible. Oh no! He's becoming self-aware! He starts to recognize, like, shit! These could actually be screenshotted! Oh, and then from that concern, immediately back into, like, playing the health teacher. I know your body is growing and starting to develop. That's why I agreed to this. I want to be your first, little cute ass.
Oh my.
Want to bend you over my table and oh! Oh! I want to throw you on my bed and lick you.
What?
Oh!
Holy
What the fuck?
shit!
This is worse than,
Run
like 50 Shades of Grey writing, and that
out of
shit's
here,
horrible.
bro.
They unironically use the term like sodden panties in that book.
What the actual?
What do you
fuck
think
is
about that? I like that conclusion, as if you just dropped the mic. Yes, I want to fuck your fucking
What's the
butthole. I want to
fuck?
butt fuck your pussy. So what do you think? Will you invest in my company? Like it's Shark Tank?
Get out
That's probably
of
the face he
water,
made
man.
when he went to meet her in person, and it was just two dudes with a camera. That's probably the exact face he wore right there. That's like a YouTube shocked thumbnail. Of course, real vaginas don't produce lube. Is he a virgin? It's not like vaginas are just dry. It's not like sticking your cock into like sandpaper. Maybe he just means like it doesn't produce Astroglide or something, like a specific lube brand. Like they don't have like it's not like Spider-Man's webs, like in the Amazing Spider-Man webs, like put new web slingers in there for vaginal lube. But vaginas actually do get lubricated themselves. They're like a self-lubricating apparatus, really. Kiss your daddy goodnight. Sleep tight, princess. This is when he finally started to believe this could all be a fucking setup. As if there wasn't an entire fucking 3 seasons of an extremely popular show all about this exact same thing. Even being fully aware of this very real possibility. Literally for like the 10,000th time in this conversation. Yeah, I guess every time he busted a nut, he started to realize this could all be fucking fake and a setup. But then after post-nut clarity faded away, he went right back to the, let me suck your fucking toes and take a shit. Can we give him a lav mic so we get better audio? Let's really go in here. Put this on, EDP. Oh, okay. Do they sell cupcakes in this driveway?
Oh, okay. So you should title a video instead of your video almost through hands of a 13-year-old. You should title your video almost through hands of a 13-year-old. I think that'll get a lot of hits. I think so. Yeah.
Oh. Good one. So he's got like a whole little routine prepared.
So you initiate the conversation with a 13-year-old, yes or no? Correct. Okay. So
That guy in the background's trying so hard to seem like he's not listening.
exposed for this, and you called them. This is. I had to make sure myself. Do you recognize me? I had to make sure myself.
Well, that didn't really work. You don't have the Chris Hansen prestige yet. You know who I am? Nope. Okay, that hurt. That's a good question, yes. Why do you like children? Asking the hard-hitting questions. They should have rehearsed a little bit like what they want to ask. So why are you a pedophile? Like, do what Chris Hansen does. He does a really good job with interviews.
what are you? What are you? 13-year-old girl after
He hit it up like it was a catchphrase. Hey, not a pedophile.
a guy that is. Well, we report this to cops because most definitely this is not your first time. Right. This is absolutely. Not
Whoa.
This is actually. This actually is my first time. You just kind of learned your first time.
Yeah, that was
Second
that was a bit rough on that one, EDP.
First time was.
You've done this before, yes. But I mean, no, though.
Yeah. So now, as far as the whole fantasy goes, you know what I mean? Let's be real, okay? You know what I mean? Like
What does that mean? Stop saying you know what I mean.
Full fantasy. That's what I mean. Okay. So.
I'm not calling you the P word. You know what I'm talking.
Look at these screenshots.
I'm not calling you the P word.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Do you fantasize about females under the age of 16? Yes or no? Sometimes. Yes. Okay.
What are you doing? Holy shit.
Okay.
Holy shit. This is fucking rough. Holy shit.
I know, but you said earlier it was your first time.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So we'll get to that. So you said, so 13 is fantasy. Like for me, okay, 18. I think there's hot 18-year-olds. I wouldn't do anything with.
Oh shit, my bed.
But there's hot 17-year-olds. But I don't go. Yeah. When I see a 17-year-old, I'm just like, I can't do it. Like it's just not right.
What are you going on about?
Maybe about 7 months ago.
This is just an extremely long confession. He's not fighting any of this.
What was it that made you realize?
Holy
like,
shit.
For example, it's a bad analogy. You know, like if there's a hot 19-year-old into me, I'm like, oh, awesome. But if there's like, I shouldn't say there's such thing as a hot 12-year-old. But if there's a 12-year-old into me, a 13-year-old.
Jesus Christ.
I would never. So what makes it okay to you for you to come here?
It doesn't make it. I'm just being honest with you. The screenshots, of course, I mean, but like, why would you send it to a 13-year-old? Like, and that proves that you were turned on by it.
Well, he said that a million times. We know that.
Because you were hard when you were doing. Obviously, yes or no. So
He said that millions of times. I read it. I felt like I knew his cock pretty well by the end of those messages.
Honestly,
Chris Hansen did it very well. Chris Hansen was a beautiful weapon against pedophiles, but YouTubers are not. Like, the only reason this video even surfaced is because they were finally able to get full ads on it. If this video never got ads, this wouldn't have even come out. They would have just let it ride, or let it die. They're really just in it for, like, views to exploit bad people like EDP. This one seems staged. Okay, I can tell you this one is definitely not staged because his entire YouTube career has ended.
Let's fucking go.
This one is definitely not one of those fake ones. I can assure you of that. Like, even the interview it's not even an interview. The questions are, so you're a pedophile, why? I also like hot girls, but if they're 17, it's like, they're hot, but, you know, I can't do that. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, you should have just taken Chris Hansen's script. You know, not this. Did they call the cops? That's what I don't know. Like, I don't know if they even get law enforcement involved. If you take their word for it, they do. But I don't know. I don't know enough about them, so I couldn't tell you yes or no. I would hope so. Like, if they went through all this effort, did a full investigation, and didn't give it to authorities, they should also be at some level responsible for, like, endangering minors to allow someone like that to continue doing their shit. So I would think that it would go to law enforcement at some point.
But this isn't the first minor you've talked to before, correct?
Right.
And there was more than one minor.
Holy
because
shit.
Last summer, I've had all these females reach out to me about you, and you know, at first I was like, okay, attention. Honestly, I was. But then I see more and more and more, and I see you saying if anybody finds out about this, you're gonna
Oh, what a good way of looking at that. Hey, I was manipulated and abused by this guy. Attention, whore.
Ballpark number of how many minors you talked to. Like, you know, obviously it's been 5. So after 5, what would you say the number is? 6. 6 minors. Name them.
6? Holy shit.
There's
Is he just making this up? Because he's like actively making everything worse. I feel like he's just making up names.
Dude, like, real talk, man.
obviously you didn't go what the F because you're talking to a 13-year-old. I believe you did know her age before, yes or no? Wrong. How old is the girl? Which one?
This is unreal.
What the cameo?
I believe. Oh, you mean the cameo on one, right?
The one where you talked about
The boyfriend hit you up for the cameo.
send you private.
Thanks the prime, Matt.
Probably 14, maybe 15. I'm not sure, but that was number 2.
Seeing this really makes me appreciate Chris Hansen's work even more. I guess I never even stopped to consider how hard it must be to do something like this. This is so long for no reason. They're saying nothing. They're not actually interviewing him. Okay, I'm just gonna skip a little bit. Do you guys mind if I skip a little bit? This is really bad.
You're soliciting child photos from this girl. That's another charge, you know that, right? Do you know how many charges you did here today? More than
What, you counted them like Pokemon cards? Three charges, collecting them all?
2 counts of graphic photos. You asked for graphic photos from this girl, and you came here to engage in sexual activity with a 13-year-old.
Well, hold on. This is like an actual question. Like this is actually hitting him with something. Actually something.
They're not misdemeanors, they're not infractions.
Hold on, let me see where this goes.
They're felonies.
So you were also a little bit submissive to it.
Oh, let's get it.
You were a little bit submissive to it, yes or no?
Fuck me, bro.
Do you have a fantasy? So you did maybe fantasize about 13-year-old, yes or no? Okay. Do you also fantasize?
This guy's like the only guy that's actually trying to go somewhere with this.
What about a 13-year-old?
And you have the audacity to say, please don't do this. Are you serious? We should be asking you, please don't do this to minors.
I mean, he's like that guy or the girl in Game of Thrones walking around with the bells. Shame. Shame.
He's calling a friend right now.
Yeah, he's at the apartment.
Well, yeah, he needs to get picked up.
Right now. Philip,
please come.
What are you panicking for? He's clearly calling a friend to get the fuck out of there. He's trying to get extracted from the mission.
Okay, please come quick. He's calling. It looks like he's calling some backup. Okay, all right.
Oh, this guy sucks. Looks like he's calling some backup.
So be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. We have a ton of new viewers. It'll help us a ton. We flew.
I knew there was going to be a subscriber call to action.
EDP. So be sure to
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Okay. So that is fucking rough. That was a lot worse than I thought it'd be. EDP got fucking blasted. Yeah. The investigation, I think, was a very good thing done by very bad people. I did also see this one. The things this guy says are really bad. Like, racist, all kinds of horrible shit from this guy. And a lot of people have taken note of it, but not everyone. I don't think this guy should be gaining so many subs for this shit. He did a good thing, and he tried his best to make a lot of money off it and capitalize on it. Constantly calling for subscribe actions, refusing to post the video till it has full ads. So, I think the guy sucks, but what he did was good. And when he's talking to this guy in particular, he keeps talking about how... So, I'll break it down. The guy here is suicidal. He gets caught and he starts talking about how he's suicidal, he's tried to kill himself a couple of times, and in response, this guy says, you can't kill yourself because you're Jewish. That'd be a hate crime. What are you, some kind of Jewish Nazi? And then he keeps saying that for like 5 minutes. Like, that's his whole joke. He has like a little stand-up routine about why this guy shouldn't kill himself because he's Jewish. It's horrible. I actually, before finishing this up, I do want to look them up one more time. They claim that they've done this before, and the chat has told me that they've had people arrested. I want to see that. Okay. Let me just immediately show you why I doubt that these guys actually care and are doing this for a good cause. Just going to their website. This is the first thing. Before you get anything else, you get payment plans. This is fucked up. So now where can I find out their track record? Have they actually gotten bad people off of the streets? Or do I have to pay to get that information? Holy shit. Making merch for hunting pedophiles. That's so weird. What does that merch even consist of? It's gonna be like one of those, like, cool dad shirts, like, I'm a veteran, I didn't fight in wars for you to look at my daughter, I'll put you in the ground. It's gonna be like one of those. I hunt pedophiles for views on YouTube. Or for money on YouTube, excuse me. At least Anxiety War, I do know the channel. At least they seem to actually want to do something good. And being successful is just, it came with the turf for them. Like Chris Hansen. Though I wouldn't really compare Anxiety War to Chris Hansen, but what I'm saying is at least they seem to be in it for a good reason. And there's also no information on the site except for buying things. I just wanted to know, do they have any proof that their investigations and this content they've made has actually gotten anyone arrested, put away, off the streets, anything? A lot of you said that they did, so I'm just wondering where you found that information. Who wouldn't want to walk around with a shirt that says Predator Poacher, Hunters Club? That'd be pretty cool. So the first thing that comes up when I look this up, vigilante investigation creates issues for prosecuting cases. Talking about the Predator Poachers.
I need to turn on my fucking AC.
Wonderful.
It's hot as shit up here.
There's not a lot that the police can do to sanitize a bad investigation from a legal perspective. So they actively made it difficult to prosecute a pedophile. They're doing the opposite of helping. Yes, here's the main difference. Something I talk about. Things like To Catch a Predator is done in collaboration with the law enforcement. So that way it's done in the right way so that they can actually face legal ramifications. Okay, so here's a positive one. I don't know if this is the same group because the guy behind it asked to be uncredited and unnamed, which does not sound like the Predator Poacher guy at all. But a vigilante predator hunter got 2 people arrested, and one of the charges stuck. I don't think this is the same group though because the guy explicitly asked to not be named, whereas this guy wants all of the limelight possible for as much money as possible. So I don't even know if that's the same guy. But if it is, something has really changed along the way. That was in March of last year. Yeah, the benefit here is, as opposed to the other ones, EDP was a public figure that was preying on children. So even if he doesn't get any legal charges, which I think the evidence is there that should work, even if he doesn't, he's now lost the platform where he was preying on kids. So that in and of itself is a good thing. I would normally agree with that, No Bud, but the thing is he was using his public platform to prey on people. So he should be publicly shown in this light, so that way people can avoid him. I think that is very much the right way of handling this case in particular, to make it all public. I don't think anyone's sympathizing with the Predator. It's really just a matter of the person who caught the Predator is so unlikable that you can't help but mention it when talking about the story. I really don't think there's anyone on EDP's side. Everything he said and did is deplorable. But when you have the guy who caught the Predator saying, like, quickly get here, he's calling for backup, you can't help but be like, holy shit, not only is the pedophile evil, but this guy's also evil. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard to just focus on one guy when they're both bad.
Oh, shit. Let's get it. I got a fucking mattress for my bed, bro. Finally, been fucking 4 or 5 years, bro. Finally bought it. Let's get it. Alright, back to Most Critical and Elden. I laid on my bed for a solid like 5 minutes. Longer than that.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers.
Okay, what was it doing? Oh yeah.
One Love.
Road.
I did that.
I already went through those catacombs, right?
Howdy, hunters.
Did I?
Say hello to Drosera. This alien death trap has dozens of
no, I
ways
didn't.
to kill
Alright.
you.
That's what I was doing. PewDiePie. I already watched like some of it, so leave it at that. You thought.
It's the first time Momo meets the ocean. You excited, Momo? It's water. Momo, be careful. That's disgusting. They're like tsunamis for you, Momo.
Watching PewDiePie is fun, bro.
It's time to come back and surf, and with me, my co-partner, Mr. Affable himself.
What up?
Looking good.
It doesn't fit, Felix.
It fits. You can breathe now.
It's gonna rip in half halfway along, surfing across the way.
That look cool. Action shot. All right, we're going in. The waves are looking a little shit. They look huge, but I don't know. Like, we'll see how it goes.
It's not gonna be surfing.
Wow, we got the most amazing footage. Rolling the waves perfectly. Best footage ever. I lost the GoPro. Sorry.
Night great
And it was Chris' GoPro as well.
My daughter's GoPro. My daughter's first birthday was on that.
She will never know what it was like.
God damn it, Felix. But I mean,
The waves are so crazy.
When you go in the water like that, you know, there's an expectation the GoPro won't be coming back from the platform.
Is that
Thank you,
worth?
I appreciate that. I'll get you a new GoPro. Stop complaining. God.
I want a brand new top of the range GoPro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why not?
All my trimmings.
What do you got there, Chris?
Don't worry, Felix. In my line of work, we always bring a
But-
spare. Oh, you can feel yourself crashing once again. Don't lose it.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. What a pro. You can't really tell, but it's getting a little dark. We've been surfing for like hours. It's so good. One last stretch. It's like being a kid. There she is.
I flipped this lever real quick.
This is like the most beautiful evening. Looks amazing. What an affable gentleman. Look at him. The sunset hit and all the sky just blew up orange. It looked like it was on fire. It was so beautiful. And then the ocean itself was pink because of the
Bro, what?
The waves are so nice. It was jaw-dropping.
Missed by like a fucking inch, bro.
I was so thrilled. That was amazing. I'm so tired. We've been out for hours. Shame I lost the GoPro. I had so many good waves on there. They shut off the water for the showers? Damn, that's YouTube money. Evian. Very nice.
Desperation.
Hi, you guys must be new to town.
We just moved from California, which is in America.
We just wondered if you wouldn't mind if your daughter played with our daughter.
Why our daughter? Audrey, say hi.
Let's play slide. Slides off limits to ching-chongs.
Alright, my mom's calling. I'm gonna have
You
to
want to be
mute.
best friends?
Joyride, Friday.
You aren't still using Google Chrome or, God forbid, Firefox for a browser, are you? Do you churn your own butter too? You using sheep's bladder for protection? Hopefully not. In 2023, every gamer should be using Opera GX. You can now set GX profiles to create a custom browser suited perfect for any online activity. You a streamer? No more problems showing your private stuff to viewers with the streamer configuration. PC not running smooth, stress not with the potato profile. With this one, you can use the browser in its most basic form. Another super cool feature that you don't find on any other browser is a phone application for Opera GX that allows you to take a video on the go, right where you left off, by scanning its QR code. Who's that sexy guy?
Let's get it.
You can also log into Spotify.
Right. Bro, it took so much fucking work just to get that bed up here, bro. I flipped the lever, the fuck? No, I didn't.
You.
Of course. Bro, it's literally impossible to play Fortnite right now.
So we read this one. This Pandora is really cute, and they have merch here.
Bro, the rain just makes my ping go all the way up. It's funny.
We're going to the aquarium thing. It's really cool in Ginza.
Wow.
We're seasoned here now. We've been here 3 times, or Marcia has. I don't know if you remember from earlier vlogs. Simple. Wow. Big boy. They look so hideously cute. Oh god. I love the music. Damn.
I'm actually gonna call him Mike. Why not?
Got that ass.
See if he answers.
Hello, Miss Summer. Happy midsummer. Thanks, midsummer. The greatest.
Or he's just in the lobby, probably. Oh, no matter.
Going to IKEA.
Someone to talk to. I'm bored.
Oh my god.
Piece of shit. Really thought. Oh my god. Yeah, I died. No shit, I died.
Wow. They have veggie meatballs. And they look good. Usually they put corn in them, but not even in Japan. The land where they put corn in everything.
Oh, yeah, he's in
I'm
here.
a fan of these. Or the Grovla.
Hey, what's up,
What
man?
happened? I just 1v1 Kin Beans.
Did you know?
Yeah, I literally just 1v1 Kin Beans.
Poo, bitch.
Prove it, bitch.
Were you better?
Said prove it.
No, I honestly don't care. No, I'm
You-
just kidding. Were you better or no?
You could say that.
Nah, dude. If you were, hold on, let's see this dude actually 1v1 Kin Beans.
I ain't gonna reveal my secrets. I'm just gonna show you that it was Kin Beans. Is this it? Yeah.
I'll check his user and see if it was him.
Look. Mr. Finn, turn this way. Oh, there he is. Kin Beans. See that? Kin Beans.
Nah, you actually did.
Kin Beans. This is Kin Beans.
That's not Kin Beans, bro.
This is Kin Beans, bro.
No,
I 1v1 Kin Beans.
No, you didn't, bro.
This is Kin Beans, bro. I revealed my secrets. You're watching the rest. I gotta reveal that shit. That was Kin Beans.
What secrets?
It was his map and everything.
Nah,
Let's just say I ain't be showing you everything while I 1v1 you.
What'd you say?
I just don't show you everything when I'm 1v1 you. I can't be revealing stuff.
Sure.
All I gotta say is that 1v1 Ken Beans.
Yo.
What do you think? It's not him?
No, I don't care.
Oh.
Not just playing. No, but I'm just cause I'm live streaming. I was watching fucking YouTube videos as I was like, just Elden Ring, and I got bored of watching YouTube. So now I'm here, and my fucking ping was like 190 this morning. So I'd rather not deal with that.
Yeah, it was. You could always get on now and see.
Yeah, I know. But I'm so like far
Damn,
into
bro.
this game now, bro. I'm just so invested. Just go through it. I beat a couple bosses on stream.
I have to thank my lucky
We went
stars
through,
that the cop was smart
catacombs.
enough to not.
Like,
Bro, you should get on Fortnite.
if I'm gonna be over 60 ping, I'm not getting on.
Well, I'm doing 400 right now, so.
I'm already frying the chicken. I know that. Oh, you're not. You're definitely not. I see you missing all your shots. Oh, here we go. Nice. And notice that I have a common Havoc assault rifle, which only does 21 damage per shot. And at this point, I still had no idea that it was rigged against me. Nah, you're gonna choke this. I'm gonna kill the chicken before you go. Oh no, bro! Alright, I'm back with the chicken. Why is the chicken low-key kinda good, though? What do you mean good? I'm dodging all my bullets. Oh my god, this is really hard, man. This is the hardest challenge I've ever done. And it's only gonna get harder from here, bro. Alright.
I want to go on Ken Beans. How do you feel?
Am I supposed to feel jealous or something?
Just saying. You've never wanted on somebody at that level.
Sure.
What, Skittles?
Skittles is probably better than him. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Ken
All
Beans is a lot more famous than Skittles.
Famous? So you saying famous?
Uh-huh.
I don't care about famous people.
Yeah,
Shit.
but...
Yeah, but what?
What do you want Ken Beans, though?
I don't care about Kim Beans. He's a fucking loser, bro. You don't hear it in his voice or anything?
Who would beat you, obviously.
What do you know?
Look.
So defensive
I'm screen
about a
sharing, right?
fucking
I'm still screen sharing.
Kim Beans, right?
This is you, right? So say this is you, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So this is how you're losing immediately. So you're just in these two boxes. Immediately, Ken Beans, 2 cones. Breaks this wall. I'm on like 600 ping. Places that. You're holding this, but he places that in there. Okay, this is through your wall. Now he has all this piece control, alright? He starts swinging on this. You're like, oh, I go to this box. He does this. He did this shit to me. And now he's like here. Holding a shotgun here. About to pickaxe
So you
this.
lost.
Places stair. He did this to me. I didn't lose it. Okay. He places the stair through. Takes this at the same time. Does this. You see this peak? I'm right here. I ran here, pickaxe this as it was 1 HP and took it. I'm smart. But like, I can't see his ass. He's sitting right here. But I just walk down, pop up, shoot me.
Where is the boss fight? Alright.
Just because you ain't placed some cones in a wall.
Well, yeah, he has good tip videos, doesn't he? Doesn't he like show everyone like good techniques and shit and like impossible get shot like at like peaks and shit, right?
Yeah.
Bro, really?
Let's literally just Can I have my mouse back? Nope. I guess not. Have my mouse back now. Yeah. Yeah, what do we want on Ken Beans?
Nice. Oh shit. Fuck, dude. This cat thing. Get it.
Bro, I Ken Beans stream pulled up, bro. He was locked in. That's crazy.
Was he streaming today?
Uh-huh.
Alright. Alright, what was I gonna do? I was going to try to unlock that part of the map. Right. Oh, that's impossible. I need to get to the road. Oh, fucking rams are annoying. fucking moist critical with it. Is that a boho? That shit funny. That's the main road. Where's the map? I'll check in a bit. Then I'll play Fortnite and I'll stop the stream. I've been streaming since fucking 2. I think, 2. I just decided to stream Elden Ring until my Wi-Fi got better. The rain, it's still rain, like drizzling outside. Yeah. I think it'll be better though. Greece. What's up here? Oh, this bitch.
I've been waiting. I knew you had the stuff. I hear. Take my hand. Give me your hand. I will pray.
Where is she teleporting me? Volcano Manor, okay. Oh, it's one of the... Oh shit, alright. That's one of the loading screen pictures. What do I gotta do? Talk to you?
Brave Tarnished. Welcome to the Volcano Manor. I am Tanith, the proprietress.
That's a Crucible night.
Raya, a warrior of promise. I believe she said, perhaps.
I don't care about your dialogue, just hurry up and talk. Yes.
Interesting. Now you believe the drawing room, but be sure. Abuse the key.
Did she say abuse the key? Where do I go? Mansion ass castle. So I gotta go right here. I see that. Is this giant gonna attack me? Yep. A whole ass new area. Should go crazy. Tree seed. Is he still following me? Somewhat. I hate this thing, dude. Where's this path? Oh, right here. I literally swung that at, dude. I feel like these things are just not worth it. Just like playing baseball, which I never did. Let's get it. Straight down the mountain. Nice, there's hands now. I hate these things. Oh shit, okay. That's the big one. Fuck out of here. Like the map! Ah! Fuck off. Rest. With the fucking hurry up and shit, bro. Fucking hands annoying.
I don't need that.
Let's go, I got volcano
I don't
matter.
really like them, but oh, you're getting one? The dime cake. It's like I'm home. It's like I never left. I can't believe they were actually selling it.
Where am I?
Good.
All the way the
It's funny
fuck up
because
at the edge of the map, bro. Holy shit.
They're like, oh, I love meatballs at IKEA. I'm like, yeah, that's the worst meatballs you can get. They're not bad. This is the flavor we have for the GQ. And it's really tart, and it goes so well with the savory. Very happy to explore right now. Gotta try out the Kenyan bullet. It looks bad, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard, it's supposed to be soft. Sorry for hating it.
You're just straight the fuck over there and get that other piece of the map. Maybe finish the map. It's a great shield talisman. Troll's golden sword, okay. I guess not worth it. Pumpkin.
Just wanted to say, I'm getting very close now. Very close to becoming a dad. I'm very, very, very excited. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know if I'll have time to make videos. It's going to be chaos. I don't know. But I imagine I will not upload in a while. So I just want to say thank you for all the support of these vlogs. We're so happy that you guys enjoyed them.
Great.
And we'll share a bit of our life here. But I think it might take a little
I'm gonna explore the whole area once I'm done. A bit. Or not even a bit. I'm gonna stop playing this game and see if I can get on Fortnite. I was trying to play this morning, Mag. It's so bad, bro.
Go in my shot, TJ. Get out of the shot. What the hell? Oh my
Okay, so now I have this whole area. Oh shit, it's right. There's a piece of map thing right here. Probably collect the whole map at this point. Thanks for that, bro. Go, horsey, go.
If you've got a full belly, prepare yourself. You might just
You got a
keep
full
on seeing and listening to this unbelievable, embarrassing cringe. This is the worst flirting.
The map
worst
is bigger.
attempt
Fuck, I
at
didn't even know.
wooing a potential romantic
It just gets
interest
bigger, bro.
I
What
have
the
ever
fuck,
seen.
dude? I thought I
This is
reached
like
the end.
playing a visual novel and then scaring away all of your potential love interests at once and getting the worst ending. Now, I'd like to give a bit of context here to the situation before we really
My
dive
mom's
into
calling.
the
I'll be right
details from our spaghetti entree of cringe. A user on Twitter posted screenshots as well as videos from a random guy who had reached out to her on Facebook because he had seen her on a dating app. The two didn't even match, and I guess he must have assumed that it was some kind of glitch because they were destined to be lovers. it was fate that was pulling them together, but unfortunately technology had a malfunction. So he took matters into his own hands, tracked her down on Facebook, of which she had no connection to the dating app. She didn't connect any of her socials to the dating app, so he did some super sleuthing to find her on Facebook and reach out to her there to try and win her heart. And let's see how that went. Kelsey! I love that intro right there. It's straight out of Scary Movie, like that old commercial. What's up? He's coming at her like they're best friends from way back in the day. He then executes Order 66 and kills all potential for romance. He goes, I mean, okay, shit.
It was a bad idea to stop there.
That was a tad overly enthusiastic for a stranger message on a sunny Friday morning. There is so much
I had to make a run for it.
that he texts that I'm in. I can say with a high level of confidence that he is definitely in some kind of theater troupe because he is typing like he's acting out some kind of skit for a play. It's a little much here. My bad. Let's go with I can explain. Fuck yeah, that works. Then drops a couple of emojis and then one of these bad boys. How she didn't immediately fall in love with this man is crazy. This is
that's crazy.
And it's already creepy because it's a complete stranger. He saw her on a dating app and then tracked her down in order to, you know, really directly communicate with her. So, let's go over where things went wrong here. I'll go ahead and get the playbook out like John Madden would say when everything fell apart for the offense. From the start, basically. There is nothing that's even remotely salvageable from what he tried to do.
Sounds like a fart.
There is nothing more annoying than texting like you're talking to yourself during the text. Like when you say something like, Kelsey, I mean, oh wait, shit, mayhaps that was a tad too far on a stranger danger sunny Friday afternoon. Goodness gracious, how do I save this?
You're following me?
Like that is so fucking lame. That is shameful.
Hey, a bunch of tree sentinels.
I am shocked.
Run! Shit!
Nuzzles you, and then an asterisk, you there? Yeah, and then that's one of those emojis. So she said, sorry, do I know you? And then it reactivates this
Oh, come on, they're
protocol.
mid, bro.
He says, oh hey, no, we don't know each other. Sincere apologies for the subterfuge. Oh brother, this guy stinks. Dropping subterfuge here in your creepy approach to a stranger. If you give me the tiniest bit of room, I'd be happy to explain. I reckon that said explanation will bring laughs and smiles.
Let's get it.
Yes,
I got the
I'm
other
trying to
part of the
rope
map,
you into
not
a
just
pyramid
missing the
scheme
whole
to sell
right
fancy
side of the
Tupperware.
map.
Yes.
And there's more
He's
areas up
trying
here,
very
dude.
hard to be self-aware. And when
This
he
map
starts
is way
sending
too
his
fucking
voice
big.
notes to her, he reiterates 1,000 times like, this is weird, you're probably gonna think I'm weird, and then just keeps doing it. He sends so
It just
many
gets
voice
bigger
messages
and
that go
fucking
for a
bigger,
long,
dude.
long time. It's making my voice crack.
I used to
because
think
of
this
how
shit was
fucking
big, bro.
embarrassing it
Nah.
is. And you wanna know the wildest part? I'm getting ahead of myself, and it's a spoiler. He has done this to multiple women, apparently. Other women have come forward after this.
I'm done
tweet
with
and
Elden
all
Ring
of
for
this,
today.
The receipts here and all that went viral with other women.
I'm
showing their
continue with
interactions
K-Lit
him,
tomorrow.
And he even uses like the exact same lines on other women, which is
I'm gonna
really
try finding
odd
K-Lit and
considering
just
that has to
beating
be
the
a 0%
bitch out of
success
her.
rate. These can't be working well at all. It's so weird. So she decides to play ball here and open Pandora's box to see what comes out. She says, "Explain away," and he
That was a
gives a
couple
brief,
hours.
you know, cool.
Let's get it. Alright, more stream when Mike wants to play